Hi everyone, welcome to this Aquarius full moon, August 1st, 2023. I am Jude Hotep. I'm the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. I'm a master soul coach and a professional astrologer. We're going to get into this hydration, Aquarius full moon. Without love, the dream can never be true. And I'm really excited to share this interesting full moon with some interesting aspects. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the chart in part one, and I'm going to give you this forecast for this full moon. And in part two, I go over all of the sun sign horoscopes for where this full moon is happening in your chart. Make sure you watch your rising and your sun both. The sun is a solar chart and it's a perfectly wonderful chart that can give you great information. And then your rising is related to your natal placement. And those two together give you a great understanding of how this full moon, like where in your life it's affecting you and what it's all about. Make sure to watch the first part because there is really important information that I channel from my guides, my higher self, and from the universe that is wanting to come through for you, for all of those here in Light Goddess. So I'm a professional astrologer and a master soul coach. I work with women one-on-one coaching to help corporate women come out of the spiritual closet and either start a business or a spiritual business or up level their spiritual business. And I also work with empowered women on healing trauma and old wounds and past life karmic shadow. So if you'd like to work with me, you can go to thegoddessastrologer.com and you can book a one-on-one goddess call, which is a sales consult to apply for one-on-one coaching in Alchemical Goddess, my 6-month coaching program. Also, if you are wanting to get your astrology and understand your natal astrology and work with your transits and what's happening for you in your secondary progressions. I'm an evolutionary, esoteric, galactic astrologer. I don't do predictive, horary, or electional. Okay, so not all astrologers do those things. I don't do those at this time. I always am guiding you back into your own authority and into your own power as a woman. And if there's any men here, welcome. But I'm niche to women. And so you can book an astrology reading with me at thegoddessastrologer.com. My normal price is $325, but I have a pick your price astrology reading. You can pick your price between $75 and $325. It does not hurt my feelings. It's there for a reason. I don't want you to be separated from the empowerment of working with your astrology because of money. So go to thegoddessastrologer.com and book a pick your price reading now while I'm offering this, because it is for a limited time. So if you go there, I have updated the website and you'll be able to see testimonials, what clients say about working with me, and a little bit about working with your astrology there. So let's get into this full moon. And we're going to go into this. So it's August 1st, 2023, Tuesday. It's 1:31 p.m. Central Time. Adjust for your time zone and your area. I left the quintiles in the chart real purposefully because I wanted to show you this golden yod that's happening on this full moon. Mars is prominent here. So a full moon is when the moon is in exact opposition to the sun. And so then the full moon is always going to be in the opposite sign as the sun, because there's less 12 signs and more 6 polarities. And we are in the Leo Aquarius polarity, the Leo Aquarius axes. And this is all about individualism. It's about individuality, and it's about bringing our gifts to the world and humanity, but being a confident individual within humanity and just being a part of this community as a whole with all of our unique diversities, all of our individual realities. And so it's very much about this axis of Leo Aquarius is very much about being unique and original. And it's about the symbiosis of interconnection, because Aquarius is more impersonal. And, you know, somebody with Aquarian heavy might care about humanity, but really could just whatever to the individual person there on the street. Leo is more subjective, and it's about the self, and it's really that vulnerability in the heart and this ethereal light coming through. It's the sun, it's the warmth, it's the center of our solar system, right? And so it is this very much about love and the vulnerableness to wear your heart on your sleeve, and to be in that childlike wonderment, enthusiasm, and joy. If you ever remember or think about a time where you felt like really in your heart, you also feel a little childish, little kid-like. And so we have this golden yod to Mars in this full moon. And this full moon is in this Leo Aquarius axes. We have Aquarius full moon. It's an air sign, and it's a fixed air sign. And then the sun is in Leo, fixed fire sign. And we had Mars and Mercury move out of Leo because we had this Leo stellium going strong for a bit. And now we have our Venus and Lilith and the sun all in that fire, that fixed fire, with the Venus retrograde. And so we have this yod, and quintiles are creative. Everything is shadow and light. So Hitler had a lot of quintiles. Charlie Chaplin had a lot of quintiles. Creative people, light bringers have a lot of quintiles. Quintiles are about flow, creativity, but also provocation. But what's that provocation? What's the creativity that provocation is going to induce? Leo megalomania like Hitler, or the Leo of the confident person on stage speaking and spreading light for what? Humanity, Aquarius. And this golden yod is a finger of fate. So it's a point of fate. And we have the sextile between Chiron and Aries and the moon in Aquarius. That Aquarius moon, impersonal, cerebral, intellectual, the wizard, the genius, the mad genius, just very much innovative and unique, revolutionary, the rebel. Like, no, I'm going to be individuated. I'm not going to do it the way everyone else is going to do it. I don't want to be like everyone else. And yet Aquarius is very social and very friendly, very outgoing, but it doesn't want to fit in, and fitting in will do you in. And we have this nodal axis of this Libra. We're going to get into that in a minute, but that Libra has activated our mind hardcore. This is 18 months of having your mind very activated. And also it's that yang air of that Libra. And it's also that social belonging, all of the self-doubt, all of the like, are they going to like me? Am I too much? Am I this? Am I that? And how do I fit into the greater, whole partnership, society, groups? And so we have that as the backdrop to this Aquarius full moon. And then we have this sextile. Sextile is this breakthroughs. So we have breakthroughs between our emotions of where we are trying to fit in, or where we are rebellious in a way that is trying to individuate, trying to be uniquely ourselves, trying to be different, trying to say, like, I am different than you. And yet, in a way that it doesn't allow you to be different within the whole, which is problematic. You can't get anything done as a business owner if you're so different that nobody is called to that work, right? And so you have to, that Libra is about the optics and the how it's seen, public opinion, how it's seen, how society is seen. So we have to realize we're in this world where there's all these depraved fucks, these narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. The patriarchy is not white men, it's narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. And we've already infiltrated the patriarchy by being born at this time. And so we have that group of people who are trying to dominate and control, who don't care about people, polluting our land and our water and our air, and trying to control humanity and sheeple humanity around to their agenda so they can have more control, more money, do, the different kinds of things that different groups are doing. and embezzling from, from the American people, extra constitutional groups with all of the UFO stuff. You have to realize that all of the UFOs that have been seen, all the lights over Phoenix, and all this stuff for years, it's been absolutely on purpose. So they could have a myriad of choices to say, hey, well, look, there's alien threats. And of course, all of these movies about aliens for so long, none of them are nice. None of the aliens are nice in the movies. Propaganda, maybe? Just showing you, oh, the aliens are coming to attack and they're mean and they're out to get us and all of this. And then, this drip feed slowly of all this UFO stuff, in the sky, these crafts, and why? So that they could have all this plethora of options to keep taking money, to keep funding the black ops behind the scenes, extra constitutional. It's beyond the Constitution, what they're doing. It's not constitutionally approved of. It's not approved of by the people. And it's not disclosed what they're really doing. And so they can keep doing it and keep embezzling trillions of dollars from the American people. They're taking money from us off our backs, while American people have inflation going up so high that they can't afford food. And that even if they're working a job for minimum wage, they're sitting there homeless on the street with kids. The homeless population seems to have exploded, but now it's just visible in your face everywhere, particularly in progressive cities. Why is the homeless population not so evident in very conservative cities? They're kicking them out, arresting them. I know that there's many cities arresting so-called homeless people or anyone suspected of that. So there's these things going on in society and these different dynamics going on. And so understanding what's happening, like this Aquarius full moon, it's Aquarius, right? Aliens, it's the galactics, it's the higher wisdom, the higher mind, Uranus, innovation, what's odd, eccentricities, it's that higher intelligence. But Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, one of two, Saturn's also the ruler of Aquarius, and Pisces, about soul, and also about what's hidden and behind the scenes and being kept from us. And yet we're given this other story, supposedly, to help people to be brainwashed and confused and not know what the hell is going on, and to be scared and in fear. And the more fear that people have, the more controllable they are. So let me get back to this main point, that there are the depraved people doing all these things. I mean, from, there's plenty of people who have money that are doing good. Money is just neutral. It's not evil or bad. But there's billionaires who are doing monopolies, which we, had laws in place to outdo, to have no approval of monopolies long ago. That's what the whole game of monopoly is about, to show how horrible they are for the people. And so we have the depraved people doing that. Then we have the light bringers, light goddesses, star seeds, all of you who are awakened, who are doing your amazing empowered work to wake humanity up, to help evolve humanity, which doesn't mean like, go wake up, why aren't you getting it, blah, 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 blah. It's about just doing your work that you're called to do, which plants seeds. It helps people heal. It helps people move on to their path, speak their voice, have an example for empowered women standing up. You just do what you're called to do, and that is doing the work. And then you have all of the rest of humanity who can be swayed to the dark or to the light, and they can be swayed either way. And we want them to individuate. We want them to wake up. We want them to plant seeds. Think about before your awakening and how long it took you to wake up, and how many seeds you had planted years and years ago before your soul was finally felt safe enough, or your ego rather, felt safe enough to handle the cognitive dissonance and the complete reality shattering of what awakening does. It completely shatters reality and everything that you've ever understood about life and known. I mean, thankfully, but at first it's very, you lose all the walls and the floors and the ceilings, and it's very, what's the word, like discombobulating, it's very, it's for everyone, it's a little different, but it's very discombobulating. So there's a better word. It's on the tip of my brain and whatever, can't think of it. Damn it. I like words. I like the word, whatever. Anyway, so we have this golden yod then to Mars. And this Mars in Virgo is all about service. to the whole. You know, Marses are taking action in the world, are going out into the world, making things happen, initiating, doing things, projects, getting shit done, talking, speaking up, speaking out. It's assertive, confident, and it's independent. And it's that energy of making things happen. It's that energy. That's what the archetype of Mars is. So then in Virgo, what does that mean? You know, Virgo is about service to humanity. And, you know, with this quintile to our full moon in Aquarius, about the collective and about humanity awakening. So this moon is a big awakening. And, you know, we keep having waves of it, but we have these waves where we have a wave of more of it than at other times. And then we have kind of a drip going on, and then we have a wave of it. And it's really reality shattering, right? And then we have Chiron, the wound, but also where you go through whatever the hell you go through in your life, the dark night of the soul, and all of the drama and pain and trauma in the past lives and all the stuff that teaches you things. It's your PhD, you know, it's on the streets, boots on the ground, learning. You know, knowledge doesn't mean shit unless you have experience, because knowledge is not wisdom. So that Chiron and Aries is about being unto oneself, being assertive, speaking up, owning your no and yes, independence, just this very clear I am. Aries doesn't like talk about what it is, it just is. And it's like, let's go start something, let's go do something, let's initiate, let's go. And it believes. Aries just believes. It believes it can do it, and it initiates and starts doing it, and it sees the vision, it believes. And I have a really Aries infused chart, and it's just like I just believe in what people can accomplish. I just know we can do it. I know we can overcome the obstacle. I know we can figure it out. I just go out on the mission to do it. Like, that's just very much how I've been my whole life. I just can, and then other parts of my chart, like I can see the vision. And so it's very much this Chiron is where you've healed, is your PhD for humanity, for this quintile to Mars, the service you do for the world. So, you know, service to the whole, service to society and to humanity and to culture might sound boring, but it's bringing that feminine as a woman, you know, rising. We are the hinge pin to humanity moving out of the depravity. Patriarchy is the depravity, how we were normalized to abuse, normalized to narcissism. And I'm talking about real narcissistic personality disorder, all these people in positions of leadership that are narcissists and that were abusing people under them. You know, you have to like walk on eggshells with your boss. I'm sorry, but that's abuse. I'm not sorry. That's abuse. You know, it's just like that's not okay, but we've been socialized to accept it. Jerry Springer show and all the reality shows and everybody fighting and constant social conflict. We've been inundated with this. We've been groomed to think this is normal. We've been socialized and conditioned to have dysfunction and abuse and just depravity normalized for us. And so we're coming out of that. Humanity is waking the fuck up out of that. And people are realizing and waking up. If you have a narcissist in your life, you better know for a fact you will not be 100% your authentic self, and you will not be able to reach your highest heights of greatness. You will not have the most self-worth that you could have. You will be dimmed and shrunk in 1,000 micro ways, whether you think you're awake to it or not. It's just the truth. So this is this 5D opportunity here. Aquarius, awakening, innovation, being, you know, the revolutionary, the rebel, standing in your power, Aries, standing in your I am, owning who you are, being sovereign, being powerful, initiating, independent, free, assertive, confident. Yes, that Libra South Node is going on. So if you've never done assertiveness, it feels like arrogance. Let me say that again. If you've never done assertiveness, it feels like aggression. It feels like you're being aggressive to people. And you will have to go through this thing where the pendulum swings far to one extreme and you are aggressive and an asshole. And then you'll underdo it and you'll be like, shit. And then I didn't speak up for myself at all. And you'll keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until finally you find this assertiveness within yourself of like, no, I speak up and I know they're going to react like a asshole, or they're going to alienate me from the group, or they're going to be pissed off, or they're going to completely have all of their shit come up. But I've actually been the way that I think is absolutely the right way for me, assertive, not taking any shit, standing up in my power and my I am, owning my who I am, owning my boundaries, stating my boundaries, asking for my needs to be met, and being very healthy about it all, but not getting walked on, not being overly polite and thinking you're too much and like, what will they think? All that Libra shadow bullshit, right? And so at first it is hard to do that and to go through that journey, but you have to go through it, otherwise you'll never find that within yourself. And it's okay to be too aggressive sometimes, and to like, you know, flip out, and to be on that journey. It's okay to be where you are. We're human. We're supposed to be on the journey. It's not perfection. You know, Virgo is not about perfection. Virgo is about self-improvement. What is there to improve if you... Oh, I always have my alarm that goes off. What is there to improve if you... if everything's perfect, there's nothing to improve, then what the fuck are we doing here, right? So it's like, we gotta let go of this perfectionism thing, and we all have perfectionism somewhere. You all have Virgo in your chart somewhere. You know, look for that house in your chart, and it'll help you understand where you're wanting perfection in your life. Is it in your 7th house relationships? Is it in your 10th house in your business? You know, is it in your 4th house in like home and family in the house? You know, is it in the way that you think and how you speak, 3rd house? You know, where are you expecting perfection of yourself or others? And it's everything is a perfection, right? Perfectly despondent, perfectly sad, perfectly a mess, perfectly beautiful, perfectly clean, perfectly put together, right? Everything's perfect. So this, we have this going on. Okay, well then what's next? I wanted you to see this quintile, this golden yod here, but let me go do this, and we'll put all this back here. So let's go square, and where are you at? There we go. And we'll take this off for a minute. All right. And so now you can see this hammer of Thor, north node to Pluto, and these sesquisquares. It's a square and a half to Mars and Virgo. So you have north node loosely conjunct Chiron, Pluto conjunct its own south node, all about ending the dominator culture, ending the distortion of Capricorn. Pluto's south node, all of the planets have a south node and north node. I've talked about this on the new moon and full moon videos before. And Pluto's south node, you know, Pluto being our evolutionary journey as humanity, right? In that 28th degree of Capricorn, retrograding through the, you know, the last degrees of Capricorn right now, and it's going to go into Aquarius in January. And it'll retrograde back into Capricorn next September again too, before it's finally in Aquarius for good for a chunk of time, right? And so we're finalizing this 15-year cycle from 2008, when the housing crisis and the banking crisis happened. And what we do, we didn't hold the bankers accountable, but who's in charge of that? Is it the people, right? But Pluto made sure we all saw what the fuck was really going on. So now it's not hidden. Now it's not behind the scenes. And so even though the bankers were not held responsible, at least it's not hidden anymore. And the people, you know, it woke everyone up, and it's waking people up and waking people up. A lot of people went into victimhood, also Pluto, and going into trauma and victimhood around it, like, I lost everything and blah, 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 blah. And it's actually like, you know, actually, where's your empowerment? Because see, circumstances are actually neutral. We don't feel neutrally about them because we're human, but circumstances are just whatever the hell happens to you, it happens to you. You can't change it. But if you want to change your circumstance to feel better, your whole life is just like you're just going to be chastened to change the outer experiences of life, which means you have zero power. But if instead you change the way you think about those circumstances that you can't help of what has happened to you, now you have power. And since thoughts create emotions, now you can create your experience of life. And so this is incredibly powerful, right? And Aquarius, what is Aquarius? It's the mind, it's thoughts, it's cerebral. And it's the last air sign. And, Virgo is very analytical, analyzes things to death, right? And so it's going to initiate by wanting to create a plan of action. So this energy is like, create a plan, organize everything. Use this Mercury in Virgo and this Mars in Virgo to organize everything and to get organized in your life. All of the shit that you put on hold, that you pushed off, use this perfect organizing energy of Virgo to organize it. Utilize this energy, because Mars moves fast. It's going to move out of Virgo soon enough. So then we have this 3D hammer of Thor, meaning like the hammer is coming down. It's a smackdown. It's all squares and squares and a half. It's all hard aspects, tension, and a push to take action, but not necessarily a push that feels good. Most people I know, including myself, it's like there's a lot of things I would have never done in my life that I needed to do. And it's how I grew and how I learned and why I have the amazing things I have in my life. But the universe pushed me into that, and my soul pushed me into that. And I never would have done that willingly. Never would I have done that willingly. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell no. I would not have done the shit I've been through willingly. But because of that, I have grown and learned and become, the amazing woman that I am today. And that's what happens to all of the difficult things. But if you're narrating them as like, poor me, then that is where you are going to be this disempowered soul that's not able to shine light, that's not able to help humanity, that's not able to do this humanitarian work to serve humanity and to have your dreams come true as well. This whole thing about serving humanity, to create value in the world, you get to have your own dreams come true too. You get to have the life you want to have too. So you can do the 5D or the 3D in this new moon, in this full moon rather, and realize that there's this option here, and that this is going to be happening and the 5D is going to be happening all at the same time. Here's what I want to say. You might be getting slammed with life. The bottom might have dropped out and you might be having an ascension low. There's these ascension highs and lows on the ascension journey, where you have these high highs and you're in 5D and just like you're manifesting and things are popping off. And then you have these low lows where you swing into the 3D and suddenly it's like the bottom drops off. It's a complete depression. You feel incredibly horrible. You might feel confused, not even know what the hell's going on. Schizophrenic, just feel like you don't even, like your channel's not open. You lost the plot to your whole life. This is just part of the ascension journey. And wherever you're at in that, I'll tell you, if you can understand what's happening, A, it will help you to handle the low lows better. B, if you take stuff off your plate, don't expect yourself to be gentle and kind and compassionate with yourself. So that's been pushed in our world, massive action, and you got to do it, and you work harder, and all of this bullshit, pushing humanity just to not be self-compassionate and loving and kind and gentle, that feminine quality, but also just that human quality. Human. The divine masculine is kind and gentle and compassionate and caring. It's not a feminine and masculine thing. And people are conflating masculine and feminine, conflating the wrong things with masculine and feminine. Masculine's the going out and the driving force and everything. Yes, the masculine energy is yang energy. But what do you think a woman does when she has a baby? You think she's doing nothing, sitting there doing by the pool? She's constantly moving. You're constantly on. You're constantly engaged. You're taking care of everything, the schedules and the family. And it never ends, right? And it's a cardinal, you know what I mean? Cancer is a cardinal taking action sign. So we conflate these false ideas with the masculine, these false ideas with the feminine. Compassion, gentleness, sensitivity, kindness is human. So we have the depraved people, which is a percentage of our population. However, they've been at the helm of the old paradigm. They've been controlling things. They're the CEOs. They're the ones out there doing the dirty business, and they're the narcissistic bosses and the the managers, and they've been in all these positions of power for a really long time because narcissists don't give a fuck. That's why it's so great, easy for them to climb a ladder to the top, because they don't care what anybody thinks. They don't care if they hurt people's feelings. They don't care if they step on somebody. It's always about, what can I get from me? How can I have the light shining on me? How can I have, like, get something from you? Your life force energy, your ideas, your incredible brilliance, your light. How can I suck it all from you? That is narcissism. And these people have been in positions of managerial positions and supervisor positions and CEOs and in government positions and world leader positions. Like, we have to wake up to the truth of what the old world was, while we are creating the new world, and have eyes open. And so this hammer of Thor is like bringing this smackdown of just feeling like you don't have a plan, you don't know what's going on. Pluto, destruction, transformation. Pluto's metamorphosis, less transformation and more metamorphosis. You can become a completely different thing. That means what you were is not there anymore. It died. So then how does that feel? That doesn't feel like good. Like, you feel like, wait a minute, I'm losing everything I know as like safe and secure, and feeling secure and okay, and feeling like I'm okay here. So this Pluto, and it's in Capricorn, about the distorted Capricorn, the industrial fascist narrative of work hard, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that bullshit. I'm going to work smart. I'm going to work playfully. I'm going to do inspired work. And I don't even, I've been using the word fun instead of work. I'm going to do this fun, doing this thing here. And it's been like helping my brain just stay in that 5D, and just be in a different frequency with it all. Remember, Aquarius is frequency, it's vibe. This full moon is all about frequency. I named it hydration because Aquarius is the water bearer. It goes around to all the people and fills up everybody's cup just a little bit, and it's just like, it helps you and it helps you and it helps you and it helps you. But also it's like, you got to help yourself. You got to be individuated. I can't do everything for you. I can do a little bit here. Like, this is what I can do. Like, I'll have people sometimes come from, I do card readings for people once in a certain milieus, and when they come, sometimes it's like they want a therapy session, a coaching session. It's like, look, no, that's a whole different price point. This is like a 15-20 minute, it's a card reading to help you have a point of direction, to have some fun, some confirmation, and see what messages channel through for you. This isn't a therapy session, right? And it's like, I can't be everything to everyone. You can't either, and that's okay. You do what you can do for people. And I always know, like, what does this person need? What's important? And sometimes I might be the only compassionate person they're going to encounter for 2 weeks, and I'm just called to do that divine service. And, a big part of my work is divine service, whether I like it or not. And I do love it. It's just, for me, it needs to be balanced with paid service. So, and it took me some time to balance that in my life. But as I balanced that, I know, like, Spirit's asked me, like, hey, like, this, you're the only compassionate person this person's going to have. Like, can you be there for them? Can you listen? And you have to navigate your world like that too. And see how we have, people are, last week, we have a running square to the nodes all year long, but the nodes retrograde back and forth. And so we have these points where we have these squares hit, because a retrograde hits the planet 3 times. Bam, 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 bam. It hits that point degree, and then it retrogrades back over it, and then it goes direct back over it. So three times it's hitting that. And last week we had these 3 Pluto squares to the nodes. The nodes are yang. It's very mental, mind, drama going down. And it's a shift in the nodes. It's a shift in this whole energetic undercurrent of our life, this whole emotional, because it's the nodes of the moon, this whole emotional thing has completely shifted. Endings, beginnings, and then a square, tension, difficulty, challenge, provocation to grow and to change and to move, which feels uncomfortable. And it might even feel painful, or like you just completely, are losing things and your identity and transformations and changes that maybe aren't feeling good right now. And later you can look back on them in a different headspace. But so last week, I mean, these weeks recently, my God, the amount of people that I talked to last week who had a breakup and or an animal die, or a relative die, was innumerous. Never had so much of that in like one short span of time. Nearly every person I talked to was a person, an animal, or a breakup relationship. People crying. And just be compassionate to others. Be supportive when you can. Don't do the Libra South Node people and people please and all that shit. But support when you can. Make sure you have part of your business. Like, make sure you are answering the call to divine service. There's a difference between your business and divine service. Those are two different pieces of your life. And be compassionate, be caring, be loving, give someone a smile. And I'm not talking about energy vampires or people that are, are trying to suck your energy or any of that. I'm not, let's be clear. Let's have distinctions and discrimination, understanding about what we're saying. But you'll see that people are needing extra space holding, extra witnessing, and compassion right now. And when you can do that, offer that, because it will be massively helpful to humanity staying in the 5D as much as we can and not being dragged back down. And so, the North Node, Aries, standing in our I am, our unique sense of our own self, not merged in all this codependency, Libra shadow, codependency, people pleasing, doing for others before ourselves. Like, oh, I don't know what they'll think, right? You have to realize that Libra, Saturn's exalted in Libra. Saturn is society. So why is Saturn exalted in Libra? Exalted means it's kind of like it's vacation home, right? It's not, you got your home and you got your vacation home, and it's even happier sometimes, right? So it's like Saturn is exalted in Libra, and Libra is all about the optics, how things look, what public opinion is like, how do we skew this in marketing, or with the imagery, with the design and the graphics, or the way that the model poses to have this certain vibe, this certain impression, this certain image, this story that we're creating to express, to be believed, understood, right? It's all of that optics, it's aesthetics, it's how things look. And it's also, it could be very superficiality, right? Libra's the celebrity, the superficiality, all the fake bullshit that's not actually real. So since it's the South Node, we got to look at all the shadow, right? We are being asked, we're majoring in this Aries Libra archetypes right now to learn these emotional skill sets and understand these. You have to remember, astrology is not doing anything to us. Astrology is the language that helps us explain what is already there. But how can we integrate it, understand it, learn it, evolve through it, utilize it, all of that, if we don't have a language and a method, symbolism and mythology, myths to help us explain what we're feeling, what we're understanding, what we're going through, how things are, how people are, etc. And astrology is just the language that explains all that. So these are two important things to understand: 3D or 5D. And if you're going through a hard time, it's okay. It's not like, oh, I didn't choose the right one. But support yourself, nurture yourself, give yourself breaks. Try to lessen the difficulty of it in how much it's easy to express that into the world, all of that difficulty that you may be going through, and the anger and the frustration, and like how it may be really hard to be compassionate and loving to other people when you're in a low, but also how can you make it easier on yourself and just be gentle and kind and compassionate to yourself, right? So Leo is all about that creative self-actualization, and it's about the heart and love, enthusiasm, joy, that youthfulness. It's very focused mental energy, and it's very it's confident. It's where we want to be approved of, where we want to feel special. It's our unique talents and gifts, and being on stage in this Venus retrograde here is important, because it's about the feminine light, the light Leo, the feminine Venus, and women standing up all around the world to stand in our power. And it's also Venus about money, about abundance. Oh, come on, what is happening? About valuing ourselves, but the value that we create from our gifts and our talents. Venus, all Taurus themes, right? And Venus is also very much about our relationships. And so trines to Chiron and the North Node. So while we have that hammer of Thor and that golden yod, we have these trines from Venus in retrograde supporting us. This retrograde about revising our sense of our self-value. And then this South Node in Libra is bringing up all of our belonging issues, all of our being in relationships with other people, and how secure we feel, how much we have a unique sense of our own self. I am my own individual self, and you are your own individual self, and then we are in a Libra relationship. And Libra is also about justice and fairness and balance. And balance is not equality. Balance is not homeostasis. Balance is constantly correcting, pivoting, constantly, and Libra isn't balanced. It's a need for balance. Libra, everybody thinks Libra is balance. Libra needs balance. It's craving it. And Libra is very confused about the definition of conflict and the definition of harmony. So you have to understand this Venus retrograde about our self-value, our abundance, our inner talents and gifts that we use to create value in the world, that we then make money from as female entrepreneurs, is all dealing with the subtext of these Libra issues. And loosely conjunct Lilith, about where you're subservient as a woman, where you are subservient, giving away your heart so you can feel special, be approved of, have somebody think you're great, have someone think you're special, have someone see your value and talent, and you're not owning your value and talent and being like, I don't like, people will be like, I like your hair. That's not a real compliment. I don't care. I don't care what anyone likes. I like it. That's why I do it. Your hair's gorgeous. Now that's a compliment. See the difference? And it's, I'm not out there being like, oh, fuck you. But, it's just an example of like this, of, I don't care what other people think about what I say and do. I'm aligned with my higher self, with my sacred calling and purpose. I'm here to speak truth. I know my chart. I know what I'm supposed to be doing in this life. I'm also on that journey and always growing and evolving and all that. Not a perfect human. I'm always fucking up. But I'm always growing and mastering and learning and working towards that. And so, it's like, I don't keep being a shitty person if I've like done something shitty, right? Like that's the difference between narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. They just keep being shitty. Like they don't care that they've hurt somebody. They don't feel the way we feel. They're very different. That's why they need you, is because they don't have that. You have to understand. So where have you been subservient so that you can feel special, loved, approved of? So you can feel like someone could see your gifts. And look at where Leo is in your chart, because that's the area of life that is. 7th house is at relationships. 6th house is in your work. Maybe all your life you're just like wanting people to see how amazing you are at work because you have Leo in the 6th, and they could care less, right? So, and so it's like, you have to actually know how amazing you are at what you do. Like, wow, like I have the ability to see what needs to be done. No one else does that. Right. And I don't know if I finished talking about this Pluto South Node, but it being the South Node of Pluto, the Capricorn, it's about ending the distortions of Capricorn, the patriarchy, the dominator culture, the industrial fascist narrative, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work hard, all this bullshit. Just like constant work. Like on the one hand, you can make passive revenue, and always, if somebody's a night person, they can get something at night or go to a coffee shop at night or whatever. Like I don't want to be limited and restricted, but there's been that perpetuation of like you're supposed to be on all the time. Like no, I'm not on all these times at all. Like, so you have to choose that and own your power. And this Cancer about your own individual sense of self-security, safety, comfort, your own ability to nurture, it's the matrilineal wisdom of the great mother and the feminine, that Cancer, the feminine. And also though, it is the intuition. Cancer can be very like emotionally perceiving, and that's different than intuition. But it's meant to be the intuition, the psychic ability. But Cancer is also about the tribe, how I fit into the tribe, and it's very connected to the tribe, right? And it's also about understanding how providence. Cancer is very much about providence. It's going to have the basement full of canned goods, the freezer full of frozen food. It's going to be stocked up. It's very much going to be like, I got you. We're not going to starve here. So it's about providence, but emotionally. And emotionally is everything. Emotions are the language of our heart, the language of our soul, the bridge between our ego and our personality. Emotions are driving all of our behavior. So if you are not an emotional alchemist, just imagine, since your behavior is what creates your results in your life, and if you're trying to create dreams and you're trying to grow your business and create revenue, just imagine what you're creating or not creating because of the behaviors that you're engaging in or not engaging in, and the energy you're showing up with because of those emotions that are unconscious, unchecked, subconscious, that you're not being an emotional alchemist and creating what the experience of life that you want to have, which is your emotions. And of course, we always have transiting emotions, but we're talking about the baseline. So really important stuff here. This this full moon has this square to Jupiter. Jupiter in Taurus, 13 degrees. You notice what's interesting about this full moon is that Jupiter's at 13 degrees in Taurus, the sign of the divine feminine. Mars is at 13 degrees. And 13 is the sign of the goddess. 13 lunar cycles in a year, right? So it's just a little anecdotal thing to realize there's just always this expression of the divine feminine rising within within humanity's psyche soul, within the world soul, again, to move humanity out of the depravity. $34 billion child sex trafficking ring, moving humanity out of the depravity, right? But being able to tell the difference between truth and falsehood, being able to read people, and their energy is never lying to you, but their physical expression, their emotions, what they're saying could all be one thing, and yet their energy is a completely different thing. They could have like an attachment or an entity, but also they could just be completely, snowing you. So like being like, we have to navigate the world with our intuition. You have to become masterful with your intuition. It's a journey, doesn't happen overnight, takes time. But with AI reaching the level of sentience, with trying to understand who's on your team, who is helping humanity, who can you collaborate with, who can you partner with, who is perfectly good, but you guys are just not a vibe match. You know, Aquarius is vibe. Who do you vibe with? Who do you not? It's okay that you don't vibe with people. Aquarius is great at disconnecting and just being like, oh, I'm off. I can make a new friend. I can make a new friend. There's 8 billion people in the world. You know, it's like there's plenty of people. You know, don't try to hold on and hoard this Taurus, right? Hoard what is, you know, people that don't serve you, that aren't a vibe match, that abuse you or hurt you or just can't be at your level and are really sucking you back down because they're not evolving. You can't push somebody to evolve faster on their timeline than you're ready to evolve, but you don't want them to push you down and pull you down either, right? And so Jupiter, where we expand and grow in Taurus, and our abundance and our valuing of ourselves as humanity, and our understanding of our own gifts and talents. Everyone's waking up to their own gifts and talents and abilities. We were told, like, you go to school and college to get a talent and a gift and ability. Like, nobody actually like looked at like what do I actually have that's in my amazing gifts and talents. You know, art is not fine arts and painting and sculpture. That's not art. Art is your life. Art is your life, and you make a masterpiece of your whole life. You get to create your lifestyle. You get to create an identity. Like, what is your identity? Who are you? Are you a creator? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a light goddess, you know, a light being, a star seed? Are you an oracle, a diviner, a seer, a sage, a healer, a mentor, and a wise auntie? You know, like, what are your many identities? You have many of them, but are you choosing the identities and taking them on that you want? A millionaire, an abundant woman, a creatrix, an empowered woman, right? So realizing this square is tension, provocation, pushing you to take action, pushing you to grow. And this Aquarius is like, let go of the things that don't serve you. Step into your value, own your value at a deeper level, own your self-worth, Taurus, at a deeper level. You know, believe the 5D, that quintile, that golden yod, believe, see yourself making the money you want to make, bring the clients to you, draw them in, you know, the soulmate clients that you're here to help transform their life. That's what you're here for. And they need you. I would be nowhere without the people I've worked with in my life that are just wizards at their particular craft of healing or coaching or guiding or mentoring or making sweatshirts, you know, whatever it is they do. And it's like, I would be nowhere without that. And don't discount, you know, jewelry making or all these things that seem like Taurus, like more material, like the beauty. Our ancestors understood the practicality, Taurus, of beauty, Taurus, Venus. They made grand cathedrals and hand, you know, built stones that was carved and had designs in it. And it was beautiful, and it stood the test of time and weather. And it's beautiful, and it lifts us up, lifts our spirit up. Or there's concrete and no lights and not have any natural elements to them. And this Leo is about the creative self-actualization. And the sun is at home in Leo, so it's strong this season. And you know, that's why I was talked about like hydration, because we need more water. It is extra hot everywhere where it is hot at this time of year. It is extra hot. People are talking about, I've never seen it this hot before, even when it's hot places that are naturally hot. And people are just dropping like flies because they're not hydrating. But hydration is what hydrates your soul, because the other ruler of this full moon is Saturn and Pisces. Pisces is soul. Pisces is what's meaningful, what's sacred, what fills you up, lights you up. Pisces is creativity, it's sensitivity, it's yin and feminine and internal, and it's the dimensions and the psychic gifts and the intuition and the connection and the spiritual intent and the all that is. I am that I am. It's the most high. And Saturn being our work, our efforts, our catalyst. It's catalyzing soul. It's catalyzing creativity. It's catalyzing sensitivity and the feminine energies and the emotions, the meaning, the sacredness, right? But also it's revealing everything that's been hidden. Pisces, what's been hidden, and where we're sensitive, where we want to hold on because something's so sacred to us. It's the holy cow, so we want to hold on to it. That Pisces, like, I don't want to let go of this, and this is emotionally what feels good, right? And so it's all of these types of themes ruling this Aquarius full moon. And Neptune's at home in Pisces. Neptune rules is a dispositor of Saturn. Saturn's a dispositor of this full moon. So it's really strong. Pisces energy, this water energy is really strong. And so the hydration of what's meaningful, what feeds your soul, what lifts you up, what keeps you going, what keeps you in that 5D, that's got to be one of the most important things in your life. Do not discount joy. Trust your journey. Trust joy to lead you to the money, to lead you to the soulmate relationships, to lead you to the right place. Trust your journey. Trust joy. Trust happiness. We've been socialized not to want to do joy. That distorted Capricorn. Pluto South Node. Stop it. Like, seriousness. No. Yes, some people have a lot of Capricorn in the chart and they're just naturally a little bit more serious, a little bit more in the like grounded, like, I need to do this, I need to do that. There's nothing wrong with who you naturally are. However, like, there could be the curmudgeon with that Capricorn energy, too serious. It's like, we have to realize what the conscious expression of Capricorn is wisdom of all that experience. It's this like wisdom. Like, I love Martin Luther King Jr. for this great example of Capricorn energy, because he wasn't curmudgeonly. He was a pretty hip dude, and he was sharp dress, amazing orator. I mean, he had Mars and Gemini, but amazing orator. He punctuated things. He had a certain cadence and repetition, a very specific way he did his speeches, to capture the minds and hearts of people. And so Capricorn, we can start like pulling out the distortion of the Capricorn in our culture and understanding that. So, and so realizing this, and the other ruler of this full moon is this Uranus, of course, in Taurus until 2026. And if in 2026, 2027, it moves into Gemini for 7 years. So if you don't have a meditation practice established, try doing it then. Remember that 7-month period of Mars and Gemini, like ding dong, ding, 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 ding. Like, it was just input and communication, and this getting rescheduled, and this going this way and not going that way. And it's just so much data, so much channeling, so much input. It's like, holy crap, all of the information, a flood of it. And then you're going to have Uranus in Gemini. Wow. Like, I mean, I'm serious. I implore you to get your meditation practice on lock now, before 2026, before Uranus goes into Gemini. I implore you to get your meditation practice on lock before Uranus goes into Gemini. So this Uranus and Taurus, breaking up the fixed stuck earth, breaking up all of those places where we weren't individuating, also individuating and awakening earth, awakening the people of earth, awakening society, awakening, humanity, and awakening what? Taurus, the divine feminine, awakening the divine feminine. That's what this has been about since 2018. Massive women awakening all over the planet. And also individuating, women individuating. This Aries is so important, that we're going through this Aries Libra nodal axis, even though it's like, whoo, it's a lot. It's, man, tell you. And I'm having, a Pluto transit. It's been a minute since I've had one. Like, damn. And anybody with the Libra, Pluto, because it's a whole generation of people, and is having a Pluto transit sometime in the next 18 months. And so it's going to push for you to let go of all that past life karmic, this life karmic, trauma, wounds, emotional betrayal, emotional hurt, manipulation, where you've been manipulated, where you've been, all of that. It's going to push you to transform, release, let go. It's going to show you that maybe you're only going to be dealing with it for the first time in your life, but it's a big deal. But Uranus, has this trine to Mars where that hammer of Thor and that golden yacht is pointing. So Uranus is helping with the higher mind. Uranus is the access to all the past lives and the knowledge of all the future lives. And it's this access to all of the quantum field, all of the information. And so, it's downloading and it's that higher wisdom. It has a trine. So it has this harmonious access, aspect to Mars and Virgo, getting shit taken care of, getting shit handled, putting the plan in place, organizing, feeling together. It's like about the foundational pieces, putting yourself together, getting the files organized, getting the shit cleaned up, doing all the little things that niggle away in the back of your mind, getting all those dealt with and cleaned up and cleared out. And Virgo loves a plan. So there's a trine to that. However, there is a square to Venus. So, and since Venus is retrograding back down, it's an applying square. And so we're feeling pushed by this energy of, tension, the feminine, the light of the feminine, Uranus and Taurus, stand up in your value, the feminine standing up in its value, the feminine awakening. The feminine, and I'm not just talking about women, even though I'm women centric here, but I'm talking about the feminine within all of humanity, which is bringing back the love. It's the creation, it's the nurturance, it's what's sacred, it's all of these precious things, emotions, and so there's this square here, there's this tension, there's this challenge, there's this provocation. Take action, wanting you to take action, to speak your voice as a woman. Stop not speaking, stop shrinking, stop playing small, stop not claiming and owning and standing in your value within yourself. All of that you do allows you to do for humanity, Aquarius, to serve the whole, Virgo, to creatively self-actualize and make your dreams come true and be special because your gifts and your uniqueness about you, that no one can be like you. And then you get that symbiosis of people loving and wanting, how you have those people, you're like, oh, they're so cool. And I just love their stuff and it lifts me up. And it's just like that whole thing. You have that too. And if you haven't stepped in either, if you don't know it, or if you haven't upgraded to the next level, let yourself upgrade to the next level of your talent and skill and ability. Right? And the spiritual intention, Neptune at home in Pisces, very strong in chart for a while. Neptune and Saturn are dancing. So let me just go in and look at one other thing. Is it Jupiter? Where are you at? Nodes. Ascending. Elites. Nope, not Jupiter. Let's see. Uranus, I think it is. Neptune. And the other thing about this is that Neptune's south node is in Aquarius, conjunct this full moon. And the north node of Neptune, spiritual intent, collective consciousness, the all that is, the sacred, the soul, is conjunct the sun in Leo. Remember, if it's confusing about other nodes, all planets have nodes. Normally, when we're talking about the nodes, we're talking about the nodes of the moon, but planets have nodes too. And the nodes of Neptune are in the nodal axis of Leo and Aquarius. Neptune's south node is in Aquarius, saying we are shedding, because south node is like what we're not doing anymore. Neptune is saying we are shedding how the collective was not for soul, how the collective was homogenation, groupthink, thought virus, mass formation, all that crap. We're not doing that anymore. And so the moon is going to activate that node and bring all that up. And so that's exploding within society and culture as well. And also just realize like the north node of Uranus is in Gemini. And so what does that mean is that Uranus about awakening, individuation, technology, the collective, the 5D, the higher mind, the quantum field, all of that is also in that north node in Gemini, saying that's where we're going, embracing diversity, non-conformist. So our planet, all about awakening and individuation, is non-conformist. Gemini is non-conformist. Doesn't conform, no. And it embraces the plethora of what life has to offer. It gobbles up experiences. Like, let me have more experiences, right? And it's curious and fun and happy and interested and and communicatory and ambulatory. It wants to move and so this north node of Uranus's north node being in Gemini, where we're moving to in our Uranus archetype, is diversity through unity. No, that's not right. Unity through diversity. It's unity through diversity, not unity through conformity. All right, y'all. So let's get into the sun sign horoscopes and get into that for everyone. Excited? Let's do this. Get this together. Get it together now. Get it together now. All right. Where are we at? What are you? Sun sign wheels. There we go. If you are watching this video before I have the chapters up, sometimes I do the chapters the next day. So just give me a day and pop back by and the chapters will be up. If one little tiny thing in this video was helpful, like it, please share it. Please send it off to a woman that it could help. And subscribe to the channel to be updated when the next new moon or full moon video comes out. And if you hit the little bell, then you'll be notified when it comes out. And Alchemical Initiations, the new show, I'm going to be doing one a month at the moment. That feels like the right thing at the moment. So I'm excited about these interviews with amazing women. Every once in a while I interview a man. I have several ready to go. You'll be seeing those come out once a month. So I hope you tune in for Alchemical Initiations. We're having deep dive conversations about spiritual awakening, initiated into the world of the soul, into the reality of the spiritual reality, beyond Capricorn's world, beyond this earthly three-dimensional false reality, and having conversations about being women in business and being mothers, women in business, and the feminine awakening and all the things we're dealing with, the patriarchal stress disorder, and conversations about being an empowered woman and emotions. And I mean, we're just talking about so much and bringing on really unique people. go back and listen to the episode of Alchemical Initiations with Carrie. She has the Relationship Diversity podcast about all these different ways you can do a relationship. People are so stuck into narrow boxes and they don't want that type of relationship anyways, but the society has socialized you to believe that you can't have what you feel is the right thing for you. And I interviewed Lyra Kay, and we had an amazing discussion about her work with men and them, dealing with being in the corporate world, them dealing with patriarchy and dismantling the patriarchy within them. Very fascinating. Both Carrie and Lyra both. I always want to call her Lyra. I just love that name, but Lyra both talked about their work with men who are dealing with the patriarchy stress disorder, okay, and dismantling that within them. So amazing content. Please subscribe to the channel and send those off to a friend. You can just text a friend like, hey, this is something that really moved me or inspired me. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to book an astrology reading with me, this is for a limited time. If you can't afford my $325 price, honestly, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Go take this opportunity and pick a price and go get your astrology chart, book that in. If you go hit the link below this video, you'll be taken to my website and you'll get to see what clients say about working with me and their astrology and more information there. So all right, y'all. Let's get into this. And the last thing I'm going to tell you before we go into Sun Sign Horoscopes is I have a free Women Rising Astro mini course. And if you go to my website, thegoddessastrologer.com, the link's below, you can download that free mini course. And if it's not up right away, if you don't receive that right away, it will be coming out within the next 2 weeks. I'm working on it. I'm redoing some stuff. So you'll get a video right away. That's actually really amazing content. It's going to be a bonus in White Goddess here soon. But you will be emailed the mini course as soon as it's finished. I'm redoing it right now. So my guides are like, no, you're doing this, like, do this. So I'm like, okay, I'm redoing it. So I'm in process and it'll be out within the next 2 weeks. But if you go to the website and sign up, you'll get it as soon as it's released. Okay. And it's 3 modules and it is going to go over some basics about astrology that are going to blow your world open and allow you to understand your chart and astrology. And when astrologers are doing forecasts, it's going to help you understand all of that in a more profound way than you ever have, and really start relating it to life. Because astrology, remember, is just this way we language what is already true about life and people and understanding life and people. So, all right, y'all, let's get into it. Aries, let's do this. All right, Aries. So this full moon is affecting you in your 11th house and all about the bringing your gifts to the world, all about the community, the whole, the groups, your impersonal relationships. And it's very much about moving away from beyond the ambitions of the world and into that higher realm, that higher echelon of wisdom that you're channeling and downloading from the quantum field, right? It's this higher work for humanity, something higher, something for the whole, something for the collective, for evolution of humanity. And so this is up for you. And it's provoking you to stand into a greater connection to your work, helping humanity evolve and grow. Like, are you very clear what your purpose is? Like my purpose is liberation. I'm all about liberation. Helping women to be liberated, helping humanity to be liberated, whether it's from the programming of the 3D, whether it's from depraved fucks, whether it's from abuse or their own trauma and their own shadow and shit and limitations and blocks, whether it's from money issues. That's my purpose, my mission, right? So what is yours? What is the work you're doing for humanity? This Leo sun and this Venus retrograde in the 5th house of like where you stand on stage in your life. And the 5th house is romance, children, it's where you bring your gifts to the world and stand in your confidence and stand in your unique sense of who you are. Remember, if you're Aries sun, you know, you have that Aries-ness in your blood, but it's also who you're learning to become. Now, if it's your rising, you're very much an Aries, and you got to contend with toning down that shadow shit of the Aries, right? A little too me focused, a little too impulsive, a little too like me, right? It serves a purpose. It's, you know, we all have the shadow of all the parts of our chart. We have the shadow and the light. But with our rising has a particular extra shadow going on in our charts. And so we always want to deal with the shadow of our rising to help our chart actualize what it's meant to actualize. And so this, you know, it's like, are you creatively actualizing your gifts and talents and bring them to your world? Are you confident? You're standing in your confidence. You're standing in your power. Do you know your power? And this Mars in the 6th house of where you have this sense of service to the whole and about, you know, being organized and putting a plan together in your day-to-day life. It's your lifestyle, it's your life force energy, it's your work that you're doing day to day in your business. Are you choosing that? Put a plan in place for doing that from a place of joy, from a place of happiness, from the emotional state that you want to be in. What's the experience of life you want to have in your day-to-day routines and work and your organized life? And you can be 5D about it, or you, like, you know, things might be falling apart. If it is falling apart, it's going to fall back together again. So don't catastrophize it extra with the mind, that Libra South node, on top of the facts of what's happening. Just bullet point the facts on a piece of paper. What are the facts? And really separate the facts from all the drama in the story, because that will help you to not narrate it even worse than it already is. You know, we have challenging things that happen, but our brain often narrates it like it's so bad. You know, because sometimes we, you know, and like, be real about you just wanting the hug or the acknowledgement of going through a massive challenge. But, you know, it's all about your 6th house. And, you know, there's pressure in your business, pressure with your day-to-day work and routines, and pressure with who you are. Right. And that's what that either 5D golden yod or that hammer Thor 3D issues are going down. And here's the thing, the hammer and Thor and the golden yod, we have that we could be dealing with both of them and seeing what they are for us. It could be mild for some people, it could be really extreme for some people, etc. So realize that it's about your identity, your 1st house, how you deal with threats. So if you have PTSD issues and nervous system dysregulation issues, make sure you're doing nervous system regulation stuff daily and maybe several times throughout the day. Make sure you're taking care of your nervous system. And about your business, your sacred calling, and about your day-to-day work, your lifestyle. You get to choose your lifestyle. My cousin used to always talk about California, like, if you want to live here, you got to choose your lifestyle. And for a long time, I didn't know what the hell he meant, because in Iowa, in the Midwest, like, you have churches and bars and trees. Like you don't have a lifestyle. You're like, what's your lifestyle? I don't know. You know, you just live in life. But in California, it's like, oh, I can do BMX, and I can be a skateboarder and a surfer and a paddleboarder and, you know, sailor and sail. And it's like there's all these lifestyles you can have. And I'm a this person, I'm a that, I do these things, right? You know, it's like, you know, and it's like the same is true of, like, what's your lifestyle? Are you an adventurer? Are you a researcher? Like, what do you love? And why is that not all in your life? Right? Okay. Let's pull cards, Aries. Really made a commitment to shorten these, and I don't end up making that happen. Fuck. Wanted to shorten them tonight, so I need to actually get some sleep. That'd be great. But it is what it is. All right. What wants to come through from Aries? 3 cards just came out. All right. And so you got lead your metamorphosis upright. Make sure you are taking the reins of the changes. And if there's challenges that you're handling challenges with empowerment. Don't be a victim about stuff. It's not the time for that. You are the muse in a protection message, meaning that like you need to inspire yourself. Stop looking outside for people to inspire you. Stop looking for external validation or pushing or whatever. It's like what's inside of you? What is your spark? What is your reason for what you're doing in the world? Connect to that vision, to that reason, to your, powerful why, to what's important to you. Maybe it's just something you love. Maybe it's just you don't have to have some big grand thing where people think that will come naturally over your journey. So if you don't have that, don't struggle bus with that. But something you love, what's your thread right now that you can hold on to that is something that's important to you, right? And then you got befriend the word polarize, which is holding the two disparate things, that there's a 3D and the 5D, that there is the good and the bad within people, that there is a shadow and the light, the depraved, fucks, and then the 5D and the star seeds and the light bringers that are just like, wow, it's, holding all of these disparate things, and it's more nuanced and more nuanced and more nuanced, that this person is really good, but they have an entity, and so they're acting like really off and really dark right now, but they're actually not like really a bad soul in this life. It's just all of these disparate things holding that this is an oppositional universe, that we have the shadow and light, that we have the good within the bad and the bad within the good, and that you're having an amazing happy day, and then you spill something on your favorite outfit. It's like, don't let it ruin the day. Don't let the small things ruin your days, ruin your weeks. How are you narrating things? You got to manage your brain. We do that in one-on-one coaching or group coaching. Get in touch. All right, Aries, I hope that helps you. And if you'd like to book a pick your price astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right. Taurus. All right, Taurus. Full moon happening in your 10th house, all about career, sacred calling, mission, how you're seen by others. So with this Libra South Node kicked up on top of this full moon being in your 10th house, which already is preoccupied with social opinion of you, and you're leaving your legacy and how things appear, optics, etc. And like doing the right thing. What the hell is the definition of the right thing, right? Like, right by your soul, not right by man-made societal bullshit lines you're supposed to color in between and all that bullshit, right? And so it's very much about this. So you may feel a lot of internal mental dialogue and insecurities, and just have so much like self-doubt and insecurities popping up all over the place. And you're like, fuck, man, I thought I dealt with all of this, or gosh, like, I was really pretty solid and strong, and like, wow, so it's okay. It's not right. It's just part of the journey. Every time we have new transits, it's helping us heal all this old shit. So just know whatever's coming up is a rising to heal, to be let go of, to be transformed. Pluto transformation. You have Pluto in your 9th house, about where you stand as the expert in your business, also about the adventure, travel abroad, the higher wisdom, higher mind, where you're getting educated, where you're the scholar or the gypsy, the traveler, and the nomad. And then you have that house of your 12th house, what's hidden, the past life stuff, karmic stuff, also like the psychic gifts and abilities and creative talents, and soul, spiritual intention, that higher consciousness, being in the other dimensions, and that Aries there. And so you have this golden yod dealing with these, or this hammer of Thor dealing with this, to Mars in Virgo in the 5th house of standing on stage in your life, standing on stage in your business, being confident, being that unique sense of self-possessed, confident, solid. Doesn't mean you don't feel insecure. It doesn't mean you don't get inconfident once in a while. It doesn't mean you don't waver, but it's that, what's the baseline? And are you always upgrading your baseline to the next level of confidence, next level of self-worth, the next level of creative self-actualization, 5th house? You know, fifth house is also going to be about children and romance too. So that could be up for some of you Tauruses. And so realizing that, you know, where do you want approval and want to feel special? Because that Mars is like, you know, make a plan, organize, do the things that are going to make you feel secure, grounded, and really centered within your self-value and your self-worth, and allow you to know the talents and skill set and the gifts that you bring to the world, that fifth house. Okay. So that's what this stuff's about. It could be the challenge of those things. And full moon is really 10th house, fourth house axis for you, sun in the fourth house, you know, roots, your emotional seascape, you know, your sense of your identity, and your sense of yourself within the greater whole, within the tribe of humanity. And it's also where you could feel very much like the baby, but also where you're the protector and the one who takes care of everything. And then that out in the world of, you know, that larger taking up space in the world. So a lot of vulnerability, a lot of sensitivities, a lot of insecurities, self-doubts and stuff coming up. It's all coming up to be healed, to be let go of, to be transformed. All right, Taurus. What wants to come up for Taurus? Bravely market your magic. Whether you are in business, you know, this channel is for audacious feminine entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs. But if you are just an empowered woman here, bravely market your magic, speak your voice, stand in your power, stand in your truth, own your boundaries, speak your boundaries, ask for what you need. You might not get it, that's okay, but speak what you need. And don't think that there's something that you're doing something wrong. Abuse like makes you think that you're doing something wrong by doing that, and makes you be meek and makes you be small and shrink. No more of that. Bravely market your magic. Upright. There's no big energetic blocks. There's no big issues. Just do it. Also realize, as a business owner, you know, it's a skill set that you develop. And until you delegate marketing out to other people in your business, you know, it's up to you. And so realize that you are the one that that, you know, you might do the copy only so well for now. But if you don't do it, you'll never improve at that skill. You have to do it to improve it. You don't improve it by thinking about it. And that Libra South Node can make you just think about everything and never do anything. Aries North Node, take action, fire. Sun and Leo, take action, fire. Focus mental energy, creative self-actualization, create, and you'll feel better. So bravely market your magic, get yourself out there, say what you know to say for now, and then improve upon it as you are able to. All right, Taurus, what else wanted to come up for you? External validation and protection. Stop seeking external validation. Stop wanting approval from other people. If you do want approval from other people, see it, identify it. It's okay that it may be there. And just realize, like, I need to go in and unpack that. What is that all about? What, you know, do I need to do some belief reprogramming? I need to manage my mind, like unpack it. What emotions need to be released? What's there? And, you know, external validation, where we're wanting someone to approve of us for us to think that we're good, and to finally stand up and put our work out into the world, and to finally stand on stage, and we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's like, you have to do it for within yourself. And Taurus can be really fixed. Just realize Taurus can be super fixed, but are you fixated on the right things? Taurus can be very narrow. It's fixed earth. So mitigate that shadow aspect of Taurus. And then you got the good kind. It flipped over to upright. It's this kind of peachy color that's like so pretty. But it was in protection. So the good kind, like remembering the good within you, remembering who you are, remembering that you're here to spread the good, be compassionate, be loving, not from an empty cup, from a full cup, being fully resourced, but remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to be a fully resourced woman. Like, make sure you're doing the things that you need that fill your cup up. Feed your joy, feed your artist, feed your creative person. Feed your business owner inside of you. What are the things you need to make sure you're okay? And remember, like, what is the intention of where you're coming from? Are you coming from just like, this is all about me and what I can get? Or are you coming from like, this is for a higher purpose for humanity? Like, I'm going to make my dreams come true as just a product of doing this higher thing for humanity. Because that's what this full moon is about, with these golden yods and this hammer of Thor. And so, but also just a realization that like acknowledging the good of who you are. There's something that I'm not quite getting. That okay, so this raw intention card came, and it's understanding that like it's messy, and that, you know, the intention, it can be so refined, but this is about raw intention. This is about the messiness. This is about the creative process. This is about the throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, the like being open, being free. There's something that keeps coming up in your reading about being too fixated and stuck fixed earth and narrow-minded about it, and one way or no way. And it's like, you know, get out of that and let the messiness have fun, play, throw the paint everywhere, get messy, get down in the mud, get dirty, get your feet, your bare feet dirty, you know, and let that have this amazing effect on your joy and your relief of all of the things just like binding you up, and all the lines you're coloring in between, all the restrictions you're putting on yourself or that you feel are put on you. And accept and receive came up. And, you know, the feminine has to learn how to receive. It's the plight of most women, are give, do for others. And you were socialized to do that, domesticated. So, you know, back in the day, you had a choice of being a sex worker or a domesticated slave, basically taking care of the home and family, and usually abused and everything else. So you have to learn how to receive and expect the good, expect to get the good, expect to have the good come in, know that you deserve it. Do you have I deserve good programmed into your subconscious? All right, Taurus, if you'd like to book an astrology reading with me or work with me in one-on-one coaching, go to thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, sending you so much love. Gemini, let's do this. All right, Gemini, full moon here for you, happening in your 9th house. All about, you know, travel abroad, higher education, higher wisdom, synthesis, deep study in something, you know, becoming the scholar at something, masterful at something, deeply knowing like the breadth and the depth of it. And also the 9th house is like where you are the expert. And this has been a theme for you. It keeps coming up as a theme for you. Like, where are you standing as the expert in your life and your business? Like, where are you owning your expertise and getting out on your podium and your stage and speaking and owning that, owning how you're an expert, owning what you know, owning your gifts and your talents? Or it's an upgrade. Where are you like staying at the old familiar level of your business, Gemini, and you're not upgrading? Why not? Why are you not stepping into that next level? And the sun in the 3rd house, your mind, your mentality, your mindset, your thinking. Are you managing your mind? If you're not doing that, if you're not reprogramming the subconscious, you are screwing yourself out of your own empowerment. We do that work in Alchemical Goddess, my one-to-one coaching program. We do that in other places. So check out the podcast if you'd like Goddess podcast, iTunes, Spotify, 477 episodes. So, you know, there's support here for you to learn those skills, but do that if you're not doing that. If you took a break, get back on it. We have this hammer of Thor and this golden yod with Pluto in your 8th, about sex, other people's resources, about the occult and the mystical and your psychic gifts, also about manipulation, and about where everything falls apart in the underworld and the death and rebirth cycles that we go through, the cyclical nature, cyclical renewal, the metamorphosis, transformation, the occult, the hidden, the esoteric realms, spiritual infusion, but also sex and depravity and the underworld. and the 11th house of bringing your gifts to the world, of all the impersonal relationships, the collaborations with other people, and the partnerships and those impersonal relationships in our life. And then that Mars in your 4th house, Gemini, all about family, home, your emotional seascape, but also your sense of your identity, how you fit into the greater tribe, and standing on your own 2 feet now. Your roots, your anchor, like your foundation. And so 5D or 3D, these are the themes that are up for you. It's what's going down. You may see the 5D and 3D happening simultaneously, but how are you, 3rd house, reacting to it, narrating it, responding to it? Don't narrate it more dastardly than the facts of what the actual facts are, right? And 8th house issues, there's this transformation, like maybe where you felt emotionally betrayed or let down or emotionally abandoned. There's this transformation that can happen here to create a new foundation, make a plan, get organized, clear out the clutter, ground and integrate your transformation into a whole new foundation from which you're doing this next bloom of evolution of your self-evolution. And that Aries Chiron in the North Node, and that 11th house Chiron, where the wounds are. Aries, all about our sense of our I am, a very solid self within that's not swayed by other people's opinions and external voice and what other people think you should do or what society thinks is right. And that North Node about standing up, speaking up, owning your voice, owning your no. Really big for women to be able to own your no. Women tend to have a really hard time with this. So pull cards for you, Gemini. All right, just one step forward is all you need in a protection message. So it's very clear that, it's like looking at too many pieces. Gemini can be this distraction of everything anyways, to embracing all the different experiences of life. Too many experiences gobbling that up, or downloading too much stuff. And not focused, and you're not even going to know the 10th step anyways until the first step informs your second, and the second step helps you know how to refine what the third step is going to be, and then that might change completely what the 4th step was originally planned. So you can create a plan, but just take one step at a time. But it's in a protection message, so let me just tune in for Geminis. So I just get that there's a block here. So energetic, get some Reiki. I do Reiki, book that with me, get in touch, message me. Also, you can get some emotion code, you can get some body code, you can get some energetic help, clear out, we take a shower every day, but are you energetically showering and cleaning? And are you in the energetic realms, like making sure you know what's going on there? It could be entities, could be attachments. And so realizing that there's a little bit of a block there, and it's definitely has to do with the mind. And so like I think some energy work would really help a lot, but also meditation, mental clearing out of your mind, manage your brain. That is an actual skill that you do on paper, pen to paper, using actual techniques. These are techniques I teach in one-to-one coaching and in group coaching. If you get it somewhere else, but learn how to manage your brain with actual techniques. Don't just be up in your mind thinking you've got it covered. You don't, I promise you. No one does. Follow through in a protection message. So it's saying like you're here and there and everywhere, and just like, but not following through with the whole vision. And it's like you can get a lot of great ideas, and that can be very stimulating. That can be very high. It can make you very high and happy. And if life isn't happy in a lot of areas, and you're not getting in the creator seat of making your experience of life happy, you can be, or if you're like healing trauma or going through a lot of things, it can be like really high and happy to just have all this stimulus and things going on, and distractions, and embracing all these experiences and doing things. However, you're not ever actually completing completing and making things happen in your business, bringing your light to the world, bringing your gifts and your talents and your amazing work to the world that needs to be out there. And then again, another protection message for you: celebrate the wins. Too much mental chatter that is not honoring what you do well. And so there's like this threat of inadequacy that's causing you to not follow through, because like, oh, it's not going to be perfect, or oh, it's not going to be just so, or I don't know how to do it, all these types of stuff. It's like, celebrate your wins and take, little action steps, but make sure you follow it through to the end, because the only way you improve, and that's the only way you know the next steps. All right, Gemini, super clear message for you. Sending you lots of love. You'd like to book an astrology reading or work with me in one-on-one coaching, you can go to thegoddessastrologer.com, and it's all right there on the homepage. All right, y'all. Cancer. Cancer. All right. Full moon for you. 8th house is up for you. It's a water house. It's the house of sex, death, taxes. It's the house of the occult, spiritual, mystical. It's the house of the fall, the abuses, manipulation, transformation, death, rebirth. It's the house of darkness, and so this Aquarius full moon here for you, there is a transformation happening here. It's really deep. It goes deep. It goes to past lives. It goes to childhood wounds. It goes to who you are, so deep. And that sun in that 2nd house of your self-worth, your value, valuing yourself, loving yourself, the value that you create for the world from your gifts and talents and abilities and skills, your abundance that then makes you money. This full moon is about other people's resources. This Pluto in your 7th house about relationships and justice. It's bringing up the secrets. It's showing what was hidden in the shadows in relationships and justice, fairness, abuses of power, all of that. And then we have the North Node in Chiron about where you feel wounded in your sense of yourself, your sense of your I am, and being strong within yourself in the face of the crowd. The North Node about owning your no and yes, having a unique identity, not being merged with other people to where you lose who you are, being independent, being a unique self within the whole. These are part of this golden yod or this hammer of Thor. And you might have these things happening both. You might be able to move between 5D and 3D. It could be happening in a different way here. And this Mars in Virgo here, make a plan, get organized. It'll help you to feel more together and to be able to work with the transition asking you. So a lot of emotions that can come up here. It's important. And this 3rd house of your mindset, you got to get your mindset together. Mars, you've got to take action on mind management. Mind management is a skill, and there's real techniques that you can use to manage your brain, to understand what your brain is doing in there all day. Pen to paper. It's not something you can do in your head. Real techniques. I teach that in one-on-one coaching. I teach that in group coaching. I also talk about it for free all over the podcast, Like Goddess Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, links below. So these are the themes. These are the issues that you're dealing with. Is 10th house, all of this Aries of standing up in your unique identity and in your power and owning your voice and owning your who you are, not being swayed by other people, in the 10th house, in your career, in your sacred calling. but how is Pluto and relationships and the transformation you need to go through and all the emotional betrayal and the trauma, how is that, you know, impacting that or making that hard, or these themes all working together? So this is what's up for you, Cancer. All right, let's pull you some cards, Cancer. You got the edge of evolution feels messy. It's all about being in the holy mess. It's all about that. It doesn't feel like anything's together when you're upgrading. It feels like everything's falling apart often when you're upgrading, because something is dying away and this new thing is being birthed. Often when you have the vision and you're evolving and you see what the next thing is to do, then all of a sudden you have to meet yourself there. So you're closing this gap. And so that can feel really hard. It's about not like letting go of the perfectionism, letting go of how you think things need to be, and letting it be an unfolding story, letting it be an evolving story, moment to moment, moment to moment, moment to moment. Anicca, Anicca, Anicca. Fill your cup of sacred giggles. And a protection message, or too serious, Cancer. You gotta let go of that seriousness, that the curmudgeon within you, that just so like, I gotta do this, and just work hard and all the, it's like, loosen up, giggle, laugh, chant, dance, sing, paint, be in nature, have fun, feed your joy, trust your joy, and feed your joy, because that's what's going to allow you to manifest. That's what's going to allow you to move forward. However, you have a little bit of a block here. You need some Reiki, some energy work. There's also like maybe this resistance and unwillingness, like thinking that laughter and fun and all of that is not professional, or it's not serious, or you're not, you're being a kid, or, whatever the mental bullshit is, it's like there's some sort of like resistance to playing and having fun, thinking that like you're not going to get it all done if you do that, when actually that's what's going to allow your higher self to come in, be in the driver's seat of your life, see around the obstacles and block, create, imagine, visualize the exact things you're working to create, and bring it all into fruition. But get some energy work, definitely the need for that. You can book a Reiki session with me, get in touch, message me. Emotion code I do as well. Or, with somebody, just get some energetic work done, do self Reiki, unstuck the stick, also in protection message, Cancer. So there is something here where it's like, I just keep getting resistance. It's like unwillingness to change and grow, unwillingness to move forward, unwillingness to do what you need to do. It's like, but also there's massive energetic realm. So remember, we have to do everything on the mental, emotional, physical, physiological, and the spiritual or energetic realm. So you can't just do one, it won't work. We need all four have to work together. And so make sure you're getting energy work, make sure you're cleaning, taking energetic shower. You may take a shower once a day, but do you take an energetic shower once a day? So it's very important to have methods of cleaning yourself, clearing out, getting connected to that world. I'm going to pull you one more card. So it's just like all protection messages here. Welcome the divine masculine. And so this is, possibly a person, but that energy of like, is your masculine energy balanced? Is it serving you? Is it kind to you? Is it compassionate? Is it space holding? Is it protective and nurturing and loving? The divine masculine is different than like toxic masculine energy, right? It's nurturing, it's loving, it's protective, it's just like solid and there, and it's very present, focused, right? This is beautiful energy. And then you got one upright card finally that just wanted to poke out for you. One step is all you need. One step ahead is all you need. Stop focusing on the long game in the way of where it is immobilizing you from doing anything. Okay. All right, Cancer, very clear message. Hope that helps you. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. One-on-one coaching. You can book a consult there as well. Sending you lots of love. Leo, this full moon is happening for you in 7th house of relationships. Dun, dun, dun. Justice, fairness, these types of issues also. And so it's illuminating what's going on there. And so partnerships, you know, are you partnering with people in your business for collaborations? Are you partnering with people in your life for things that you're doing, you know, reading a book together, things that you love, you know, people to talk to about movies or books or things that you are learning and growing through, partnering with people that you're collabing with in your business, with people in the world as allies, doing retreats, groups together. So all of these things could be up for you, but it's definitely bringing up that area of your life. That is what's going to be up and prominent. And the first house of identity, who you are, the sun, Venus retrograding in your first house. So, you know, do you have a very clear sense of who you are? How do you handle difficulty, threat to you? And are you self-actualizing? Are you confident? Are you secure? Do you know who you are? What are your many identities? You know, creative, a painter, a healer, a guide, etc. And then we have this Aries in your ninth house of being an expert in your business, standing as an expert in your life and your business. Also about travel abroad and knowledge. And then we have Pluto in your sixth house of day-to-day work, routines, schedules, lifestyle. And so Pluto is like destruction of the old, the things that no longer serving you. So whatever doesn't allow you to grow in your lifestyle, that's not feeding your life force energy and your day-to-day routines and schedules, this is, you know, destruction city. And then Aries in your ninth house of like, how are you standing up and, you know, your independence, your confidence, initiating, you know, your expertise in the world, putting that in the world, standing in that truth and that confidence, and being in that clear Aries energy, that assertiveness, that confidence. And this is that either golden yod or hammer of Thor, either way, to Mars here in the second house of your value, your self-worth, your gifts and talents and abilities, how you make money from that, and so on. And so this is all up for you. Virgo is very much, you know, can be judging, self-judgment, perfectionism, you know, guilt. These types of things can all be themes that are going down for you. But Virgo is about service to humanity. It's about humility and improvement, self-improvement. So understanding what it's really about, you know, there's a sacredness there, sacred devotion. So, all right, Leo, let's get some cards pulled for you. What wants to come up? The good kind. So just remembering the good within you, remembering that the good that you're meant to do here upon the earth, and that there's this like greater calling, this greater purpose, always asking like, what are the motivations of anything that you're doing? And is it for humanity's evolution, humanity's liberation? Is it to help and to serve others? Or is it just all about, you know, the self and what you want? And that's that deeper question, and remembering all the good that is within you. Are you judging yourself? Are you admonishing yourself? Are you putting yourself down? You got creator air and a protection message, the mind. You got to manage that brain. We all have to manage our brain. That means pen to paper, actual techniques. I teach those in one-to-one coaching. I teach those in group coaching. I teach those on the podcast, the links below. So it's like you want to actually manage your brain. What is your brain up to in there? You are not your brain. Are you identified with that? You know, it's like you want to get out of that, because that is going to do you in. If you don't know what's going on up there, and the stories that your mind is up to and telling is going to create create your goals or not create them. You know, it's going to make anything that happens to you 5 times better or 5 times worse, right? So there's a lot here about managing your mind, and it's in a protection message saying that like you don't have the skill set, you're not actively seeking to do that. Maybe you don't know about thought work and how to work with your thoughts and your emotions and your actions and do that pen to paper work. maybe you're energetically blocked and it just feels like a confuckle in there, and you need to get some Reiki and some energy work, some motion code, something like that, and to clear things out in the energetic realm so that, you know, the mental work that you do and the emotional work that you do is effective. And so that could be going on too. So make sure you are taking great care of your energetic health and cut the cords to doubt, Leo. So there's just doubt coming up, but you know, it's in protection, it's past life, it's deeper. Again, energetic work would be really great. If you want to do some Reiki work with me, you can get in touch, work with somebody, do some energetic work, because you know, the past life stuff can be causing the blocks and the difficulties in this life. And the self-doubt is it's subconscious. Our subconscious, we have to go in there and reprogram it with the actual technique that works. I do that again in one-to-one coaching and group coaching. You can't do it at the mental beta brain, everyday thinking brain level. You can change that 10,000 times and it's still there. You know, self-doubt is deeper subconscious stuff, past life stuff, wounding, soul injury. So but it's like, if you notice it there, now it's time to do something. So really, also there could be some resistance to standing in your empowerment and being a victim around it. So that's coming up for you, Leo. Okay, so very powerful reading, very good stuff. If you'd like to work with me, you can do that, thegoddessastrologer.com. You can book an astrology reading, pick your price for a limited time, or you can inquire about one-to-one coaching. Sending you lots of love. All right, Virgo, full moon for you in the 6th house. And, you know, your lifestyle, your day-to-day scheduling, your day-to-day work, your work a day and your routines, you're wanting to improve yourself, wanting, you know, and 6th house is also the apprentice, the wise auntie, or the nieces, and you know, it's that kind of relationship with the person that's not like the mother or father or the like authoritarian figure. It's the other person where you can go to and be real with, right? Or you are that person for somebody. And so it's realizing that. And so this moon is bringing up all this area of your life. Or do you have the lifestyle you really want? Are you feeding your life force energy, which is what has to do all the work for you in your life? Are you scheduling and having your routines and schedule in a way that feeds your soul, that allows you to do your beautiful work in the world? And you have this Aries in the 8th house, all about death, taxes, sex, all about the occult and the mystical and you know, the spiritual. Understanding the spiritual infuses all of life. Without it, life doesn't exist. You know, the tangible see, touch, taste, feel world does not exist without the spiritual. It's spiritual, the invisible infuses all of that. You know, it's the psychic gifts. It's also emotional betrayal and the fall and emotional abandonment. And so this Aries is like standing up in your power. And it's also like the merging intimate relationships. Are you standing up in your power in the merging emotional relationships? Or do you have a unique self and identity? Or are you like blending into the other person and you don't even exist anymore? Like, is it interdependent? Is it, do you have a sense of who you are? Do you have clear boundaries? Are you assertive? Are you confident? Do you have a clear who you are? Chiron in the North Node, and then Pluto in the 5th house of where you stand on stage, where you want to feel special and approved of, and it could be kids and it could be romance. And so I'm getting a sense here that this is about like your deeper intimate relationships. And you know, to that Mars and Virgo in the 1st house, it's that golden yacht or that hammer of Thor. 1st house, your identity, how you handle threat, your appearance, your sense of your ego and yourself. And so it's like you within the relationship and standing in your power, and that Pluto is, you know, dismantling something that's taking away your power. And you know, it's about death and rebirth. So it could be the death of a relationship. It could be the death of the way that you, how your relationship was with children or with partners, and a whole new rebirth of your experience in that relationship now. But this is very much the themes and what's up for you, what's going on with this. Let's pull you some cards, Virgo. Creator air, need to manage your mind. Pen to paper, actual techniques. I teach those in the podcast links below. I teach those in Light Alchemical Goddess, my one-to-one coaching, and in my group coaching. And so if you don't learn it from me, learn it from somewhere else. But there's actual techniques to manage your brain. You must get out of your head and onto pen and paper. Otherwise, you don't know what's going on in there, and you're not going to be the most empowered that you could be. You know, there's blocks here with your thinking. You know, it's like there's some energetic clearing that's needed. Get some Reiki. You can book that with me. Message me. You get some emotion code. Work with somebody. I don't care who you work with, but like, make sure you're giving yourself the energetic shower on a regular basis as well. And resistance, there's resistance to wanting to manage your brain. Bravely market yourself. You know, are you putting yourself out there? Are you realizing that it's a journey? Are you being perfectionistic about it? It's got to be perfect. And I, you know, have to have it all done before I do it. You know, it's like, you got to put yourself out there. You got to market your work. You've got to promote yourself. You've got to write copy. You've got to do emails. You've got to do all this stuff in a business. And you know, it's a skill you develop over time. It's not something you're perfect at first. To make a masterpiece, you have to make many, many, many pieces, many of them sucking, you know, at first, or off and on they'll suck, off and on they'll be great. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes I do a video and it's like, it's great content, but I don't perform it very well. Sometimes I'm like performing it very well, but the content's kind of lacking. Sometimes it's just great. Sometimes it's like, nah, you know, it's just, it's all an ebb and flow. And so just realize the ebb and flow. Got an upright card finally. Ambush your fears with your ferocious dreams. So turn up the dial on the long view, on your dreams, on the vision, on what you're creating. Step into the 5D, see what you want to create and manifest, and create it in the moment, moment to moment, moment to moment. And, you know, don't let your fears run the show. All right, Virgo, very clear message for you. Sending you lots of love. You can apply for one-to-one coaching or book an astrology reading with me at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, let's do it. Libra, full moon happening in your 5th house of standing on stage, feeling special, feeling like you know your gifts and talents, and bringing those gifts and talents to the world. It's also romance. It's also children. So these themes are up for you, all about Aquarius, all about, you know, the higher mind, the cerebral connection to the quantum field, innovation, inventiveness, the future, awakening, individuating. All these themes are going down for you. You know, see what this brings in your 5th house. And it, you know, it's time to get to be confident. It's time to stand on stage in your business, in your life. It's time to own this unique individual sense of you, who you are, and own that you are special and that you have unique gifts that no one else does. And to stand on stage confidently and powerfully, having that confident sense of self-possessed, that Leo sun, Venus retrograding in Leo, that Lilith and Leo, all in that 11th house of the greater whole, the group, humanity, your impersonal relationships, collaborations. And you know, that Leo, the heart, the light, vulnerability, you know, love, enthusiasm, joy, that playfulness, and also confidence, standing on stage within the group, within, you know, out there in the world, bringing your gifts to the world. So this is all about bringing your gifts to the world, this full moon, illuminating all the things that are in the way of that. This Pluto here in your 4th house of home, your emotional seascape, your roots, your sense of your self-identity that's like now, you know, separate. You know, like that 4th house is kind of like when the baby animal can finally not be at such risk for dying, and can kind of be in the community with the rest of the animals on its own more. And, that's that kind of like place where it's like, I'm getting this sense of my own self within the group, and a groundedness. What are your roots? Pluto is destroying things there. Pluto is eliminating things that aren't allowing you to grow anymore. And it could be your perspectives on home and family and your emotions, but it's definitely within your emotional seascape for sure. Also Aries in your 7th house of relationships, like standing up in your unique sense of self, your unique identity within relationships, within partnerships, within the world, fairness, justice, balance. It's also the house of completion, so celebration. And so very much these are the areas of life that you're working with. That area is also about independence, speaking your voice, assertiveness, confidence. It's not wavered and moved by public opinion or outer voice or what other people think or society does, right? And so it's like being that within your relationships, partnerships, etc. And it's the wound there of where, you don't know how to do that, or you're learning that, or you haven't been assertive before, or you're afraid that confidence is arrogance, or that assertiveness is aggression. That south node asking you to own your no. Where's your boundaries? Libra is boundaryless a lot of times. It's like, do you know how to invoke boundaries? And do you feel like you can't do it because you're afraid of what other people think? And also, it's very important to understand that your definition of harmony and your definition of conflict are skewed, Libra. You think any disharmony is conflict. That's not true. Disharmony is how you come back into harmony. It's just contrast. And harmony isn't, is bland. If everything's always sunny and you never have a rainy day, you never have a thunderstorm, first of all, nothing grows, but also, you have a desert, but also it gets boring. It gets plain Jane, it's the same old thing. And realizing that either have that golden yacht or that hammer to Thor, or both at the same time. You might be experiencing both. To past life issues are issues. Make a plan for healing that. Make a plan of action, Reiki, energetic work, healing, coaching, working through whatever past life issues are, working through what's hidden. And it's like the self-analyzing, the perfectionism, judging of yourself, putting yourself down, feeling inadequate. All those types of things can be coming up here. So taking action on, being in the higher dimensions, owning your psychic gifts, your intuitive gifts, like understanding the whole picture and the holistic view of life, and understanding the spiritual intention, like taking action on your spiritual intention for life, and healing and dealing with any past life stuff. And this is all related to, home, family, your emotional seascape, and standing up in your sense of your assertiveness and owning your no and yes, your voice within relationships. So this is what this is all about, Libra. All right, let's pull you some cards. All right, you got soul on fire and a protection message. So there's something here about feeling tired, feeling like you can't, fits and starts, you just don't have the passion and enthusiasm and the stuff. Really give yourself a break. Like, it's in a protection message, so there's like some real reasons for this. And if there's something going on that's like, this is what you have to deal with for now, make sure you're dealing with that for now. Make sure you're handling that, and that's okay. And don't give yourself grief. Are you being self-compassionate? Are you being loving? Are you being kind to yourself? Also, though, it's like, what's stopping that soul from being on fire? Because you can be that soul on fire and embody that just in general in your day-to-day, even if you can't take action on things right now. And what energetic work do you need to do? Emotion code, Reiki, like make sure you're clearing out the cobwebs, you're clearing out the energetic realm of all of that, because that's what is, there's some sort of block there of really being passionate, all in, and embodying that on a day-to-day basis, whether you're able to actually move forward with certain aspects of life right now or not. maybe due to health issues or children things, other things. Fear, serenity, also in a protection message. And, you know, it's just very much, it's that peacefulness inside. It's that centered self. There's just like, there's an issue with peace, like that, like you feel hairy, distressed, nervous system dysregulation is going on. You know, there's issues here. Again, energy work, centering back inside, calming down. What do you need to do to take care of yourself, and where can you have self-compassion? But how can you bring yourself back to a center of peace, a center of groundedness? You got light in the unexpected. Again, in protection message, you're not remembering your ability to create and imagine and expect the good to happen and visualize what you want to create and then create it, and to expect good things to happen. And you're not remembering right now that there is always the light within the dark. So even the trouble, difficult things, what is the light within those things? And maybe you can't know it right now, but you can later always understand and integrate that. You know, what inner skills are you developing by going through these challenges? Can you narrate this all from a different lens? And you got inflow with money in an upright position, your only upright card. Inflow with money. There's no big blocks here. There's no energetic issues. There's no past life issues. But it is very much about how you're seeing it, imagining, expecting, manifesting, being in those higher frequencies, getting in that 5D, stepping into that, being joyful and happy, and believing, feeling like you deserve it, embodying that sense of like valuing yourself. So very clear message here, Libra. You know, also the spark of the hustle. I don't really like the word hustle because it, you know, really piggybacks on that grind culture, which is, but you know, the spark of creating, of doing the things that create the results in your life. But just really beautiful message for you. If you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com, and you can inquire about coaching there as well. All right, lots of love, Libra. Let's do this, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. Full moon for you in your 4th house, all about foundations, your sense of your identity, security, safety, comfort, children, home, family. All of those themes are up for you, Aquarius. You know, awakening, individuating. Are you individuated from your family? Are you, you know, stuck and merged with your family, like, oh, my family does this, I have to do that, and you're keeping narcissists in your life because they're your mom or your brother or your sister? And it's like, dude, like, you know, are you going to let yourself be dimmed by narcissistic people, or are you going to be completely always, you know, locked into what your family says is the right thing? Or this is, you know, an awakening within your family and home dynamic, or your relationship with your children, or within your emotional seascape. You know, individuating from the old traumatic emotions that have held you back, that don't serve you, that you need to release and heal. This Leo in your 10th house of your career, you know, where are you shining? Where are you bringing your gifts to the world? Where are you creative self-actualization, mentally focused and making that happen? Venus is retrograding through your 10th house, all about business, your sacred calling and mission. Pluto, the death and rebirth in your mindset. Time to end all of the mental bullshit programming, subconscious beliefs that are not allowing you to grow anymore. And Pluto is saying, like, this is dying. It's time to manage your brain, real techniques that work, doing that work. What stories do you have? What narratives do you have that just are not true and are not serving you, etc.? North Node and Chiron and Aries, all in your 6th house. Day-to-day routines, your lifestyle. And so this is up for you. Are you owning that you get to create that it's what you want? Are you assertive? Are you setting boundaries? Are you owning your no and yes? Or are you just doing whatever, people pleasing and doing everything for everybody else? You know, these themes are up for you here. And then this Mars, either this golden yacht or this hammer of Thor, to your 11th house of your audience and your business, collaborations, impersonal relationships, friends, and bringing your gifts to the world. So make sure you have a plan in place. Stop with the perfectionism stuff and the judgment, and organize and initiate action on that Mars. And again, this could be the 3D and 5D happening at once, difficulty and challenge, and, the good all at once. It could be one or the other. And so those are the themes in the areas of your life that you're working with. All right, Scorpio, this card wants to come up for you. You got choose who you are becoming. So there's a fork in the road here. What identity do you want to be? What's your future self saying to you? What did you incarnate here for? What is the ego trying to keep you safe? Are you to all or nothing, or can you really think about, who do I want to be in a year? Who do I want to be in a year? Is it who I am right now? What needs to change? What needs to shift? What needs to go? You got one step ahead is all you need. These cards are upright. They're not in protection. So you do not have massive blocks or restrictions here. It's just like helping you to know what to do next. One step ahead is all you need. And so understanding that you don't have to see the future vision. You don't have to know 10 steps forward. You don't have to know the whole plan. That's not what I mean by make a plan. But focus on the one step, because the whole thing is causing anxiety, which causes immobilization. And you got your star shines. Again, upright message. I think you're the only person so far that's gotten all upright cards. Your soul shines. Know it, own your value, own your light, own your gifts and talents, express them in the world, be that spark, light people's match, plant seeds, do what you can and shine your light and own the truth of this bright light that you are. All right, this message is so clear. Just choose who you want to be, what that identity looks like. Be clear about your vision for who you are and yourself and your business, and then just take one step at a time and own your light and feed your light. All right, Scorpio, if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. Link is below. Sag, full moon for you in the third house, mindset. That's been up for you for a while, and I teach thought work, pen to paper, real techniques that work in one-on-one coaching, in group coaching, also for free on the podcast. You can learn a lot. In my Facebook group, there's 36 hours of free content there teaching this. It's the Light Goddess Facebook group. It's your mindset is up for you. There is this awakening happening. There is this individuation from all the programming of the 3D, all the programming from the collective, from your family, from past lives. There is wanting you to be in control of your mind, and you to be no longer identified with your mind, not thinking your mind is who you are. You are not your mind. You are not a collection of thoughts. Those are just sentences in your mind. And are you doing pen to paper work? Because if you're not, you cannot manage your mind in your head. Is really different what's on the paper than what's in your head. You got Leo in your 9th house of being the expert, standing on stage. And so it's like, step into that confidence, do that creative self-actualization, get happy, get joyful, feed the heart, feed your light. Venus is retrograding here. So very much it's all about the mind and being the expert, having a very clear and open channel in mind and integrating, synthesizing data. That third house is taking in information, synthesizing it, and then teaching it out in the world and standing up in your power in the world. Pluto here is destroying something in your 2nd house, money, self-worth, self-value, material possessions. What is no longer, what identity or what version of you, or what is your material possessions that's holding you back, that needs to go. There's some sort of metamorphosis happening here, and that can, if you don't agree to it, it will be taken away. So participate in it, lead that metamorphosis. You have Aries in this 5th house of where you stand on stage, feeling special, bringing your gifts to the world, children, romance, and this Aries of like being independent, being fierce, owning your no and your yes, being assertive, being very clear on your identity and who you are, all with this golden yacht or hammer of Thor. So either this 3D or 5D, or both, a mixture of things happening to this Mars in Virgo, in your 10th house of career, business, your sacred calling, taking up space in this world. Mars in Virgo, make a plan, get organized, give yourself some compassion and a break, stop judging, stop the perfectionism, but initiate and take action in your career and your business. These are the themes. This is what's going on. This is what's up for you. Big stuff here, Sag. What cards wants to come forward? This popped up right away. Get back to the elemental in an upright position, though. No big blocks to it. It's just like, you got to do it. Get a good night's sleep, good sleep hygiene. You know, are you drinking enough water? It's hot as fuck out there. You know, are you getting great nutritious food? Are you eating the rainbow? Are you a fully resourced woman? Do you have pleasure, connection, novelty, stimulation, stillness, quiet, adventure? We need all of these things. So get back to the elemental, get back to the basics. You know, many times throughout a year, I got to go back to the basics, and I got to stop all the, you know, and just, I need to sleep, I need to eat, I need to, you know, take a bath. Your soul shines in an upright, you know, position. You got to remember the bright light that you are, the spark other people's match. Spread the knowledge that you have. Be that bright light. Remember that you're a starseed. Remember that you're a light goddess. Remember that you, like, all of the beauty within you. Shine your light. You know, it's not a protection message saying that there's some narcissist in your life sucking your life dry. It's not saying that you have some energetic blocks or past life shit that you need to get rid of. But it's saying that, like, to be that light, make sure you're putting that out in the world and doing that, but make sure you remember what you are, who you are, team light, you know. What does your soul say? I haven't pulled this card in a really long time. It's interesting. It's in a protection message, and it's so in a protection message, it's saying that you're listening to the mind over your higher self. So you got to get your ego mind out of the way, let your higher self take the driver's seat. You know, the mind's gonna you know, you're not listening to your intuition, and it sounds like some energetic work could really be good. Some Reiki, emotion code, like make sure you're taking the energetic shower daily. Might be connected to past life where it's just the ego's too entrenched, or the ego's trying to protect from the wounds and the shadow. And so really wanting to get oriented to soul, let soul, higher self be driving the car of your life. So really important, Sag. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me or some Reiki, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. Reiki, you just have to get in touch via message. All right, y'all. Sages have an amazing full moon. All right, Capricorn, let's do this. Capricorn, second house full moon for you, all about money, possessions, your material world, all about self-worth, valuing yourself. What are your gifts and unique talents that you use to create value in the world that you then make money from? All about prosperity, abundance, and your own self-worth and self-love. And like, do you value yourself? Are you just staying stagnant in your self-value, self-worth, self-love, and you're not upgrading that and upgrading that? The thing is developing your business, scaling your business, moving ahead will challenge and bring up everywhere where you have your next upgrade of self-worth. And you have Leo in this 8th house of the occult, the mystery, the fall, the challenges, the intimate bonds and relationships. And so this Leo about love and playfulness, enthusiasm, and also a unique sense of self, being an individual, being confident where you stand on stage. And you have Venus retrograding here, so it's up for you. Pluto in your first house of identity, something's dying here. Maybe having an ego death right now, like something about your character, who you are, your I am needs to die. And Pluto's either going to take it away destructively, or you're going to agree to it and lead that metamorphosis. That's how that works. But you may be going through some deep Pluto stuff of like, whew, I don't know what the hell is going on right now. I don't know who I am anymore. The bottom dropped out. Let all of that be okay. Nothing went wrong. fourth house, Aries, where we stand up in our independence, our assertiveness, our sense of who we are. And the Chiron, the wound of our identity, of not knowing who we are, being socialized to be everything for other people and all of that. And it's fourth house, home, family, relationships, your emotional seascape, your sense of identity within the greater whole and the tribe. And, so realizing that these two areas is what's up for you with this golden yacht and this hammer of Thor pointing to Mars in Virgo in the ninth house of standing as an expert in your life. Also, it's travel abroad and it's greater, higher wisdom, synthesizing data and going deep into a depth and breadth of scholarliness around topics. It could be a mental and intellectual adventure, but it is, your expertise in standing as the guru in your business, which is what we do in our business. Like, we are the authority, we are the credible source here in our business, right? And so put a plan in place, Virgo, that will help any anxiety. Stop being perfectionistic, stop judging yourself. Where's the self-compassion, Capricorn? And so it could be the 3D or 5D happening here, it could be both. There's some death and destruction happening here. It's okay. Be on the journey with it, flow with that, but initiate and take action here on your authority in the world, your authority in your business, and with what you're teaching, what you're bringing, your skill set. All right, Capricorn, let's pull some cards for you. Lead your metamorphosis. So what did I say through your whole reading? Don't let, Pluto just destroy here and take things away. Like, you participate, you be ready, you do it, you go in, you heal the emotions, you feel the emotions, you do the energetic cleanup, follow through in an upright position. No protection cards so far. That's great. Follow through is meaning that you get ideas and you take in data, but it's but then you kind of just and then it just peters off. Make sure you have an idea, follow it all the way through, see where that goes, get the data and the information, then try something else, follow that all the way through, get the data, get the information. What's the next step? Doing something is what allows you to have the information about what to do next. Bliss is worth creating from. Look at all the pretty colors of the card. It's happy, it's energetic, it's enthusiastic. It's just the colors are happiness, joy, and it's like my colors, it's just like you can't actually create anything from seriousness, from being a curmudgeon, from being, it's that's very 3D living. Do you want that? Or do you want the flow and the magic and the exploration and the no time constraints of joy, bliss, high frequency 5D? So remember to trust happiness, bring in the happiness and the joy, create from that space. How are you feeding that? What's stopping you from being there? Is your mind think that you can't do it from joy and wants to do it from seriousness and stuff, or that's not professional, or whatever bullshit is happening there? Are you chasing bliss instead of creating joy on a regular day-to-day basis? Very good reading, Capricorn. Trust that. You got this. All right. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. All right. Aquarius full moon queuing up in your first house, all about your sense of who you are, how you deal with threat, your ego. Very much about your appearance, how you look. It's all your sense of your identity and yourself, and who do you serve in the world, and who are you with other people? And it's this full moon, it's illumination, it's clearing out, it's a culmination, it's seeing things you couldn't see before. And these are the themes these are up for you. Leo, the sun, Venus is retrograding, Lilith is, it's all in your seventh house of relationships. And so the sense of who you are within relationships, is that very clear and defined and not merged and not unhealthy, not codependent, et cetera, et cetera. And that Leo of this clear sense of individuality, this clear sense of who I am, sense of self within relationships and partnerships. And also there could be like a lot of, justice issues going on there and stuff, creative self-actualization within relationships and partnerships. This could be your relationship to your business, your relationship to creativity, your relationship to your ability to draw or paint or create artwork, or creating a book, we create so many things that most people don't think of creation: plants, a garden, a family, a meal, an experience, a graphic design, a computer program. All these things are things that we create. And you have this Pluto in your, you have this Pluto in your 12th house of past life stuff, karmic shit. Pluto is bringing up all this hidden psychological past life, karmic, soul debris, injuries, issues. So it can be healed, so it can be released, so it can be looked at, so it can be known, so you know why there's the neuroses going on. And you can actually heal it and work with it and move it. And you have this Aries in your third house of your mindset, and wanting you to take action with your mindset, how you communicate to the world, embracing many different experiences, getting out into your local world, being assertive, being independent, looking out there. What can you do? Being confident, initiating, taking action, starting projects, vending, going to events, relationship building in your business, all these types of things. And this Chiron and the North Node here of assertiveness, confidence, knowing who you are. And you have this golden yod or hammer of Thor, or both, depending on what's going on for you in your life, to this Mars and Virgo in your 8th house of sex, death, taxes, intimate bonds and relationships, the occult, psychic gifts, everything that's behind the veil, the spiritual realm, subconscious issues in childhood, emotional betrayal, emotional abandonment, your emotional, self. And so whatever it is for you, other people's resource and monies, your clients paying you money, all that kind of stuff. So whatever it is for you, there is this Virgo, like guilt, get rid of the guilt, stop trying to atone for things you supposedly feel guilty for, and these types of issues. Deal with humility and get rid of the superiority issues. Deal with where you have too much humility, and you're being meek and not like owning your light and your value. Make sure you're not being in the perfectionism and the judgment. Like, where's that self-compassion, Aquarius? And with this Mars, it's, have a plan, get organized. This is a healing house, healing, deep healing, 12th house with your 3rd house. It's about your mind and the deep karmic shit and the psychic realms and your deep subconscious psychological stuff. This is all up for you. It's about healing. It could explode on you and it could just feel like, what the fuck is going on? This is what's going on. So realize that this is, anything that's arising is coming up to heal. Anything that's arising is coming up. Whatever falls apart falls together again. So let things fall apart, be in the evolving story. Make sure you coach your brain, make sure you do the pen to paper thought work. Don't manage your mind, feel your emotions, make sure you are being supported and being self-compassionate. These are the things that are up for you, Aquarius. All right, let's pull you some cards. What's going on here, Aquarius? Holy fuck, it's a hardcore reading. Celebrate your wins. It's not a protection message. There's no reason why you're blocked here. Make sure you're celebrating the amazing things you do. I don't care if it's just like, I got out of bed in the morning at this time I really wanted to, instead of sleeping extra when I really don't want to, or just the littlest things. Just make sure you are giving yourself credit for all that you're doing in your life and your effort and your energy and your willingness and your joy and who you are and what you bring in the light. You are living poetry, like really like honoring your value, your light, your uniqueness. Like, who are you that's so beautiful and interesting and unique? Like, are you really, it just sounds like there's a lot of judgment, a lot of self-judgment going down here, Aquarius. Make a mission statement for your soul. It's in a protection message. So it's really like there's this ask to reorientate back to soul. Don't let the mind ego be running the show of your life. And this card is like, is like, what is soul running your life? Is your higher self running your life? Your ego freaks out and doesn't trust your higher self. And so you have to do something to get your ego to allow your higher self to drive the bus. And so you ask your higher self low risk questions for 6 weeks, nothing predictive, nothing high risk that you like won't like the answer and won't do it if your higher self says do it. You ask it questions for 6 weeks. Tacos or pizza? Do I turn left or right? What do I do now? I have a free moment in the day. And then listen to your higher self and do whatever it says. This will help your ego dislodge and declutch from the driver's seat of your life and start to trust your higher self. Get back to that orientation of soul. Remember what it's all about. Spiritual intent. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have an ego personality that you took on to invoke your soul's evolutionary desire. And I pulled a random card again, whatever it's shot out. You are living poetry. So really wanting you to click into that and to be aware of that. And I'm just gonna look up in the book and see if there's any like things that I'm not thinking of that are kind of a little bit of a seed. So it's like really talking about, it's really interesting, your creative flow, your unique essence. There's something here that's wanting you to remember like the beautiful uniqueness of who you are, and that you have something to offer that no one else does, and getting back to something like this, like sacred resonance within the world, where it's like that soul card, it's like the sacred resonance within the world. It's so beautiful. I'll leave you with that, Aquarius. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do that, thegoddessastrologer.com. All right, let's do this. Pisces, represent. All right. Full moon for you. 12th house. Bum, bum, bum. So clearing out all of the psychic debris, clearing out the psychic fields, illumination of what's hiding in there. That might all be just exploding in your consciousness. Super fun. It's coming up to clear out. This could be past life stuff, cutting old cords to past lives, cleaning out the channel to your past life and healing that, clearing that, energetic work, Reiki, etc. Leo in your 6th house, your day-to-day life, your lifestyle. Are you confident? Are you self-possessed? Are you happy, enthusiastic? Is there fun there, and playfulness and joy? Is the heart involved? Your day-to-day routine, is the fun and play in your day-to-day routine? If not, it will not be good, Pisces. This is what this is about. Is this, my tangible reality, my day-to-day routines, my lifestyle, my life force energy, and then my life force energy and the dimensions, my psychic world, my psychic realms, and the past lives, and what feeds into this life, and this illumination, and bringing it back to play and clearing out anything that is not of that individual unique sense of self, and allowing you to bring your gifts to the world. And then Pluto is up in your 11th house, all about like impersonal relationships, collaborations, bringing your gifts to the world, that higher connection to higher truth and wisdom, your audience and your business. Pluto is here. So there's something being destroyed so that something new can burst. So there is a rebirth and something new happening. So you might be in the destruction phase right now. Anything that falls, apart, falls together again. Be in the evolving story of that. Don't think anything went wrong. The death of things is not wrong. It's a part of the cyclical renewal that is feminine, that is life, that is a living universe, a living solar system, a living earth, a living soul in a body. Let that all be okay with this Aries in your second house of money, self-worth, your talents and who you are, like your gifts, your talents, your abilities to create value in the world that you then get paid for. And so Aries here and Chiron, the wound here of being independent, initiating, taking action on things, pointing to Mars in Virgo, in your 7th house of relationships. Make a plan, take action, organize, get organized. And like drop the perfectionism in relationships and partnerships. This could be a relationship to your business, your creativity, your animals, any human, a business, an organization. So this could be all those different types of many types of relationships, not just human one, person to person ones. Relationship to self, to your self-pleasure, etc. It's also the house of completions. So there's something about this Mars here and this golden yod or this hammer of Thor smackdown about completing. And so this organization and this plan, Virgo, is this new beginning going forward. And so that something new can be rebirthed in your audience building, in your life, friendships, all of those groups, collaborations, and in your money, in an upgrade of your self-value, self-worth, self-love, your talents and gifts and skills, mastering at a new level of that. And so these are all the themes that's up for you, Pisces. Pretty beautiful. So, all right, let's pull you some cards, Pisces. Let's go. Get back to the elemental, get back to the basics. And, it was just so powerful with that 7th house, completions, endings. So, there's the party and the celebration of like, we got here, we arrived. And then also like, okay, so I have to start out again. So I need to be nourished. I need to be fed. I need to have enough sleep, all these things, which I'm not going to get tonight. But alas, but, sleep hygiene, enough sleep, connection, novelty, stimulation, pleasure, joy, stillness, meditation, quiet time, time to be an artist, time to play, time to be messy, nourishing meals, eating the rainbow, enough water and hydration, literally, but also the hydration of meaning in your life, meaning in your relationships, meaning in all your activities that you do during the day, even running errands. Rise. Wow, what a reading. And it's upright. No protection cards so far. Rise up. It's wanting you to rise up into a new level of your empowerment. Yes, you may be empowered. You may have gotten to a good level of empowerment, self-worth, solidness within yourself in certain ways and done a lot. However, it's saying now is the next level of rising up to the next level of empowerment. All those pockets of disempowerment inside of you, all those places where you're being powerless, thinking you don't have the option, thinking you're not in control. Like, remember, you're the Pisces and magical dreamer, and that imagination faculty that is a tool. It is a faculty. It is a gift. It is a magic wand to create and imagine and expect exactly what you want to occur and to come in. Your soul shines. Remember that your soul shines. Remember the bright light that you are. Like, stop putting yourself down. Stop with the self-judgment. Stop with all of the negative, like thinking you're not good, you're too much, you're a burden, you're a problem, all this shit. Like, it's enough. Do some Reiki, support yourself, get enough sleep, and those things, and that will help. Make sure you're managing your mind. You are magic, and it's in a protection message. You've forgotten that. Hold on to that. Maybe make a post-it and smack that shit up on your wall, like where you make tea or where you make breakfast in the morning or something, you know, where you brush your teeth, like remember that you are magic. And being that magical being is so inspirational to other people. And it reminds them of the magic in the world that exists. Creator water, like it's in an upright position, but feel and release emotions. There's this tendency to kind of like get busy with life and pass by and not thinking it's a big deal, but then they add up. And then all of a sudden it's a big like mess, and the bottom drops out of your 5D and you're suddenly in the 3D, and then it's all like depression city. And it's like, dude, feel and release the emotions, work with the emotional seascape as it's occurring. So make sure you do those emotional techniques. I teach that in one-to-one coaching and in group coaching. You can definitely inquire about that and come in. Powerful, powerful reading, Pisces. I think this is amazing for you. I'm sending you so much love. If you'd like to apply for one-to-one coaching and Alchemical Goddess or book an astrology reading, you can do that at thegoddessastrologer.com. And if anyone else has listened to the end, sending you all so much love. Hit that subscribe button. If there was anything you liked in this video at all, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. Appreciate you all so much. Sending you lots of love. And I'll talk to you on the next video.